joining from. I'm just waiting a couple of seconds because I can see everything's going a little bit slow today. If you're in the UK, you probably know why, because it's absolutely scorching hot, crazily hot. So yes, welcome, all come in. I'm going to just read all. We've got Mumbai, we've got people in Dubai, Napoli, Italy, one of my favorite places. Naples is beautiful. So Sorrento, Norway. Oh, Marissa was just come back from Norway, in fact. Slovakia, Canada, Greece, Estonia, Sweden, Ukraine. Wow, you're coming in thick and fast now. So welcome. It's so lovely to have you all here. A truly global audience as always. So my name is Elise. I am the head of publicity at Marissa Peer, and I'm also an RTT therapist, which I will be talking a little bit about later. So while you're all coming in, I would like you to tell me where you're coming in from. Obviously, lots of people coming in from all over the place. But today is not just another webinar. And what I want you to tell me is why you're here today. Because this isn't your just straightforward webinar. If you've ever joined us before, it's a life transformational experience with Marissa so that you can actually see RTT in action, but also experience that transformation for yourself as well. So some of you are here for lots of different reasons, fascinated by the mind, healthy motivation, overcoming destructive thought patterns. You're in the right place. So I'd love to know as well, though, are you here to have the transformation with Marissa today? Are you here to potentially look at RTT training today? Or maybe you're here for both. So just pop it into the chat, whether it's for me, train me, or both. Just pop it all into that. A lot of you already, I think you've been here before, haven't you? Because I can see a lot of people going both before I've even said the word both. So both, train me, both. Well, you're all in exactly the right place. You really are. So welcome. So let me just quickly tell you what's coming up in the next hour. So today's theme is all around kind of letting go of anxiety and instilling that sense of calm within you. So it's a massive thing that affects so many people worldwide, including myself. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my journey with anxiety later. But Marissa's going to show you how to calm your mind with a live RTT transformational experience. You're also going to learn about the opportunity about how you might like to do this for others, because I know a lot of you have said train me and a lot of you have said both. So yes, you can learn the tools that Marissa is going to teach you today so that you can transform the lives of others as well. There's also going to be an amazing live Q&A with Marissa, and later on, the chance to hear from one of our graduates as well about building a career as an RTT therapist and RTC coach and life doing the best job in the whole wide world. So without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to someone who needs no introduction whatsoever, the wonderful, the fabulous Marissa Peer. So welcome, Marissa.
Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining in. I'm just going to go into another room if you don't mind, because first I need to charge the computer, but mostly I need to escape sort of from the sun. So bear with me for 20 seconds while I find somewhere just a little cooler. And we'll begin. Oh, that's better. Oh, much better. So we're talking today about anxiety. What is it? So I'm now in my daughter's gym. I don't normally do these in such strange places, but she has a house that's like a sauna. So 30 seconds more. Okay, I'm now all yours. I can even prop it up on a weight bench. Oh, it's very cool. Little lopsided. Okay, so we're going to talk about anxiety. What is it? I should be anxious that my hair's gone all weird. As you can see, I've had to put a flannel behind my neck just to cool me down. What is anxiety? Well, the thing that's important to know is that every single day of your life, and in fact, every minute of every day, your psychology is having a full-on conversation with your biology. So let me tell you that again. Your psychology talks to your biology every single day. What does that mean? Well, it means when you say things like, I'm anxious, I'm worried, I'm nervous, I'm stressed, I'm really worried this is going to go wrong, I'm anxious about this meeting, I'm so worried about this talk. Your psychology is telling your body, hey, you don't want to do this. And let me help you out here by making it very simple. One of your brain's jobs, probably the most important job, is to keep you safe. In fact, its job is really to keep you alive. But a second best thing is to keep you safe. And how can your brain keep you safe? Well, of course, it's listening to the words you say. You know, if you went to a doctor with a kid of 4 and said, my child's in pain, the doctor would say, well, where is the pain? Oh, it's in your tummy. How often do you get the pain? Is it like a stabbing pain or an achy pain? Because that doctor has got to use the words of a child or indeed an adult. So you get these headaches. Where are they? Above the eye? Are they the back of the head? Are they cluster? Are they there all the time? When do they come on? Any good doctor is using the words you use to try and work out what's going on. And your brain is exactly the same. So when you go, I'm anxious, and then you add about the meeting, about the appraisal, about the interview, about, this talk I've got to have with my kids' school, or this meeting with my partner about our relationship, what your brain hears is, oh, you don't want to do that. You said you're anxious. It's making you worried. It's stressing you out. And the brain, in order to make you safe, will often then create even more anxiety to make sure you can't turn up. So it really is as simple as this. If you say, I'm dreading that meeting, in fact, I'd give anything not to go. Don't be surprised if on the day of the meeting, you might end up with a headache or an upset stomach, and your brain's like, you see how smart I am? I actually got you out of that thing you said you didn't want to go to. So I want you to go into the chat right here and just tell me, have you ever said something to yourself like, oh, I'd give anything not to go to that meeting? Why did I say I'd go to that family reunion? Why did I offer to speak? Or to this group, I wish I hadn't, I'd give anything not to go. If ever you've done that and found that on the day you've got a headache, an upset stomach, and you can't go, have any of you ever said, oh, what would I give for a weekend just lying on the sofa doing nothing, and found you get a terrible cold? And there you are lying on the sofa doing nothing. That is a classic example of your psychology having a full-on conversation with the biology, but getting it wrong. So I'm sure many of us, because we say, well, Marissa, that's not right. Surely your mind can't make you ill. Of course it can. If you doubt that your mind can make you ill, you don't know what the placebo is. The placebo is the fact that the thoughts you think have a real effect on your body. In fact, every year, drug companies must spend billions and billions of dollars on the placebo. They have to prove that their drug is more powerful than what we think of the drug. And guess what? They are losing. Every year the placebo is getting stronger, and every year drug companies are working so hard to catch up with it, because what you think of a drug will affect you more than what's in the drug, which is why some people get high on drugs that aren't drugs, get drunk on alcohol-free alcohol. And some people take a pill that isn't a pill and say, wow, I'm so much better now. That is the placebo. The placebo is the position in you that listens to your thinking. So I'm just going to have a quick look. I really love the way we all participate in this. So this is not a talk. I'm talking now, but I'm going to show you in a few minutes how to totally minimize, even get rid of anxiety. And then the Q&A, I'm going to answer your personal questions. But here is Angela saying, yes, I was dreading an in-person thing at work, and I fell down the stairs and spent weeks with my legs up. I didn't go to the in-person, of course. Very effective brain I have. You know, what you did, Angela, is very clever. Instead of going, God, I'm such an idiot, didn't want to go to the vet, and then got a chronic migraine, you go, wow, my brain is so smart. It listens to every word I say and it acts accordingly. And now I have the proof that my brain tunes in and acts on my thoughts. I have to think better thoughts. So rather than saying, dreading that meeting, if anything not to go, go, I'm ready for the meeting, I'm ready, I can do it, I'm on it. And the meeting's going to be amazing. It's my chance to show people who I am. And you might go, well, that's not true. But neither is saying I'm falling apart. I'm a complete mess. I'm a hot mess. I'm a train wreck. One of my clients said to me, I've got to give a talk at a funeral. Honestly, I'd rather be in that coffin than giving the eulogy. That's how bad it is. Now, that can't be true. She wouldn't really have rather been in the coffin than giving the speech. But at that moment, it felt true. And then the brain says, well, let me make it. If you'd rather be dead than giving that talk, and my job is to keep you alive, I better create something to get you out of it that might kill you. And that's why we get panic attacks and ulcers and all kinds of other things too. So I love what you said, but I particularly love the fact that you realize that you have a great brain. It never says, hey, let me ruin Angela's life. Let me mess up Angela's week. Let me destroy Angela's day. It says, Angela doesn't want to do this. I'm the genie. Her wish is my command. So I'm going to make sure she doesn't have to do it. Ruben said, I'm debating if I'm going to a friend's birthday party on the weekend because I'm anxious of having anxiety during the reunion, overthinking about it 100%. Ruben, I'm going to help you go to that party and love it. I'm saying all too often that I hate something and I wonder why I feel so terrible. Let me tell you something that I want you to remember for the rest of your life. Your brain, is nothing more than a proof-making robot. Imagine if you said every day, just as an experiment, oh my God, I've got the worst memory in the world. I can't remember a thing. I've got a terrible memory. If you wanted to practice that for a month, I can guarantee, I can promise after the end of that month, you go, wow, my memory is awful. But if you said instead, I have the most enviable, incredible, reliable, phenomenal memory, the proof-seeking robot will make that true. Imagine if you say, I'm terrible at maths, useless at maths, I can't do maths to save my life, I'm just rubbish at maths. And notice what happens, and then begin to say, gosh, I'm so good at maths. Maths is just a natural gift. It's so easy for me. You really need to layer it on, and not just I'm good at maths, I'm amazing at maths. I have an enviable mathematical type of brain. Maths is so easy for me, I can add up in my head. Because the proof-seeking robot doesn't think, it just goes out to work and proves what you tell it. I'm sure you hear me say this a lot. We make our beliefs. Our beliefs turn right around and make us. And then we find proof of what we have chosen to believe, which is called confirmation bias. So let's just focus on just two things for the moment. Your psychology talks to biology every single day, and the proof-seeking robot says, my job is to prove what you are describing. So I'd love you to put in the comments now what some of your proof-seeking robot has proven to be true. I always get ghosted, nothing works out, everything goes wrong. I'm a butterfingers, I can't remember anything, I fall apart when I'm in a confrontation, I can't deal with being the focus of attention. Or do you have a proof-seeking robot that says, I'm really good at expressing myself, I'm great at challenges, they actually make me grow, I got a great memory, I've got a great skill, I'm brilliant at IT. So I'm just going to look at a few more of these questions while you start to put in here what some of the proof-seeking robot has proven to you, good or bad. I have the opportunity to get a leadership role, then my anxiety started up and then I had a seizure. You know, there's an amazing book called All in Your Head by Suzanne Sommer, who is a doctor who specializes in epilepsy, and she has proven in that book that clients can actually create epilepsy. And she starts with a story of someone who was talking to their friend and a terrible thing happened. The baby's pram rolled down the curb, the baby was killed, she was devastated, and she became epileptic from that day on because she was punishing herself. Obviously, it's a terrible thing to lose a child, but when Dr. Summers worked that out, the epilepsy went away and it never came back. For me, it's about the inner chatter and overthinking, sometimes not anxiety. Would it be good to have some simple techniques? Oh, absolutely. I'm just about to give you some too. I feel very vulnerable when I open up in public that I have trichomoniasis, it's a hair loss problem. It's ruining my confidence. I dreaded my first job after graduation so much, so much my back locked up, and I contracted virally induced vertigo from stress. I walked away on doctor's orders a week before they put me on gardening leave. You see, again, this is proof that your psychology is telling your biology, I'm dreading this, I can't do it. But imagine if you could say, this is my gift. This is my skill set. I am so good at this. I can do this better than anyone. This has my name all over it. You know, the first time I ever gave a talk on stage, I was so anxious. I had to hold onto the podium. I had to have a podium to hide behind. My knees were knocking, my legs were shaking, and I held on for dear life. But I was saying to my brain, I love this, I love this, I love it, I love it. And then it actually became easy, and I began to notice that I could do it. And now I speak without giving it a second thought. Even today, though, just before I go on stage, when I'm putting the mic on, I can hear the crowd. My hands go a bit like that, and I feel the adrenaline, and I have a choice. Shall I go, oh my God, I'm so nervous, I need to pee, I'm shaking. Well, I should go, well, this is excitement, this is great, this is really good adrenaline. Even Tony Robbins will get that going on before he goes on stage. So it's never what happens, it's how you interpret what happens. So if you're one of the people here describing what's happened to you, I want you to imagine what would happen if you could totally flip that thought. Every thought has an opposite. Every side has another side. So Ria is saying, I kept saying I'm done and fed up with my clients. Guess what? I kept losing all my clients one by one, and my business is suffering. This happens as I'm building my business and learning the technology parts. I do plow through, and then I have so much pain in the shoulder. So a lot of questions. I'd love to read them all out, but I want to go more into how to help you. So let's just have a quick look at some of the proof-seeking robot things that you've said. Let me have a look. Have we got some here? I think we've got so many of the others. Somebody just reviewed my book and said, I have Asperger's and ADHD, and I feel your book, Your Mind, Your Rules, has given me weapons of mass transformation. Now I can deal with Asperger's. The weird thing is, I'm not even getting it. Someone said, I'm horrible with math. I meant for more. I'm not in control of addictive, destructive habits. PMD is weighing me down. I can't sleep. I'm not good enough. I'm afraid of conflict. I can't be successful because I don't have an education. I can't express my feelings. I can never lose weight. I can't sleep. I don't do well in interviews. I'm overwhelmed. So there's a lot of them, and I'd love to read them all. I want to go straight in. Oh gosh, another 100 have just come in. I will actually look at all of these later. So I want you to think of something. What is your proof-making robot telling you? I just did a podcast this week with a guy called Alberto. It's up on YouTube everywhere. And I'm talking in it rather a lot about the proof-seeking robot and the psychology talking to biology. People are writing in going, wow, I didn't know this. Why didn't they teach this in schools? I've been in therapy for 10 years and I never knew that. So I want you to know it. This is a proof-seeking robot. It has one job: prove your thoughts are real. In fact, make your thoughts real. It doesn't just think your thoughts, it actively sets about making them real. But you have a choice. The proof-seeking robot has no choice. It must act on what you think and make it real because that's its job. But your job is to think better thoughts all the time, every single time. Give your proof-seeking robot something better to prove. Give your proof-seeking robot something compelling to prove, useful to prove, beneficial to prove. Every time you notice what you're saying, stop it. Every thought you think is the blueprint that your mind and body and psyche are working to make real. And the strongest force in you, in everyone on this call, is a couple of things. One is your thoughts are a blueprint, good or bad, helpful or unhelpful, useless or not, you're going to make them real. The second is the strongest force in you and me is that we must act in a way that lines up with how we identify ourselves. So let's do some of that proof-making robot stuff right now. I want you to put your hand in front of your mouth, just like that. I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to keep your eyes closed for the next few minutes. And I want you to just imagine that you're holding in your hand half of a big, fat, juicy lemon. That's all you're doing. You're holding a big, fat, juicy lemon, half the lemon. I want you to put your nose into that lemon and breathe in that gorgeous lemon smell because nothing smells quite like a lemon. And I want you to squeeze the lemon so hard that lemon drops burst onto the surface. I want you to quite literally stick out your tongue and lick off those drops of lemon. And then open your mouth really wide, literally open your mouth wide and shove that entire half a lemon into your mouth. And I want you to start biting into the lemon segments. Bite into that flesh, bite into every segment really hard. So the lemon juice bursts onto your tongue. So your taste buds swell and pucker, and your cheeks start to tingle, and your face begins to contort a little as you eat that lemon. Bite into every segment, swirl the lemon juice around your mouth, and notice you're eating a lemon, you're sucking a lemon, you're swirling lemon juice around your mouth. Your taste buds are puckering, your cheeks are tingling, you are making saliva. Actually, you're pumping out more and more saliva right now to a thought. You're pumping out saliva to nothing more than a thought. And then open your eyes. And I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions. They're not tricks, you can't get them wrong. If there was a lemon, type in yes. And if there wasn't a lemon, type in no. If there was a lemon, and you were making out and you were pumping out saliva, say yes. If there was no lemon and you were pumping out saliva, say no. So yes, there was a lemon, I was making saliva. No, there was no lemon, but I was still making the saliva. You see, you're both completely right. Those who wrote yes, of course, yes, there was a lemon. It was in here. Those who wrote no, you also got because there was no lemon, except in your imagination. But despite the fact there was no, despite that you knew there was no lemon, you had no illusion, you knew there was no lemon. Your brain bypassed what you thought and made saliva to a thought. You knew there wasn't one, it wasn't a trick, you knew. And yet, even though you knew, the proof-seeking robot made it right. It made the lemon. So let's do another one, because I love to show you the power of thought. So keep your eyes open and just look at me for a minute. I'm just going to show you a position. I want you to put your arms out like that. So I can't really push this away from me, but I want you to put your arms out in front of you at shoulder height, as if you're holding on to the handlebars of a bike or the reins of a horse. So when you're ready, close your eyes, keep them closed as you open them. Again, nothing weird's going to happen. This is just a few minutes. Keep your eyes closed now. Put your arms out in front of you at shoulder height and close both hands as if you're holding something in your hands. And with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine in your left hand, you're holding a huge red fire bucket filled with 50 pounds of heavy, wet sand, maybe even 75 pounds of heavy, wet sand you're holding in your left hand. A big red fire bucket. It weighs 75 pounds. It's so incredibly heavy. And even as you think about the weight of that heavy red bucket, you can feel that 75-pound weight in your fingers, in your wrist, in your elbow, going all the way up to your shoulder. And the weight of that big red bucket full of sand is taking your left arm down and down and down. Your left arm is dropping down, pulling down, moving down, traveling down, getting heavier and heavier by the second. But meanwhile, in your right arm, you are holding an enormous helium-filled balloon, a bright blue balloon that is bigger than you, lighter than air, and so weightless. It's taking your right arm up with it. Your right arm is floating up and moving up, lifting up, traveling up. Your right arm is getting lighter, lighter, lighter by the second. And you're noticing something really amazing. Your left arm is incredibly weighed down, and your right arm is completely weightless. As your right arm floats up and up and up and gets lighter and lighter, your left arm is dropping down and getting heavier and heavier. You're noticing something really interesting. One arm is weighed down, one is weightless because of your ability, because of your proof-seeking robot making it real. It's just about to make it even more real. I want you to imagine your left arm is so incredibly, impossibly heavy that the harder you try to lift up the left arm with a bucket, and the more the weight of it pulls it down. The more you try to raise that left arm, the more the weight is dropping it down. But even more weirdly, the more you try to push the arm with the balloon in down, the more it feels as if you're trying to push a beach ball underwater. And it just brings up higher, higher, higher. So notice one arm is weighed down, one arm is weightless, because you have a brilliant proof-seeking robot that never doubts you, that just carries out your instructions. You're the genie, your wish is its command. And now, in your mind, let the bucket go. Just drop it down, let the balloon go. Open your eyes. And I want you again to just put in the chat bar. Just tell me what happened to you. Did you notice one arm was way down, one arm was weightless? Did you notice your left arm was heavy and your right arm was weightless? Were you surprised that you couldn't lift the left arm up and you couldn't push the right arm down, even though you knew there was no bucket, you knew there was no balloon? The proof-seeking robot will bypass every conscious thought. So I just had two really interesting things that happened. I want you to put a picture of a lemon on your computer, on your desk, and remember every day, hey, if I think of a lemon, my body makes it real. If I think of a bucket and a balloon, it's real. My body bypasses me. And now you have some proof. It is your job now to flip every negative thought. I can't do confrontation becomes I'm really good with people. I hate interviews becomes I'm talented, I'm gifted. And when I go for an interview, it comes across. I'm scared of being dumped or ghosted. I'm a wonderful person. And I find I'm with amazing partnership skills and we build a beautiful life together. I can't lose weight becomes my metabolic rate is phenomenal. I'm becoming my ideal weight and staying there all the time. So if you can do a couple of things really well, you won't have anxiety or stress. Of course, things happen that a little bit anxious, like missing a plane or being at an airport or being in traffic or being like me in a heat wave in a house with no air conditioning. But if you can do these three things really well, I'm going to say four actually. Actually, I'm going to say five. Here's my five, and I'm going to give you five things to do really well for the rest of your life. And if you do them, I promise you, not only will your life be amazing, you can have whatever you want. The first thing is remember the proof-seeking robot. Only give it good things to prove. I've got a great memory. I excel in interviews and I go on a date. People see how lovable I am. I'm really good with people. I'm phenomenal at managing a team. I'm so gifted at IT. I'm a natural writer. I'm a phenomenal parent. I'm becoming super healthy. The first thing is give the proof-seeking robot only good things to do. The second thing is his psychology is talking, your biology, give it better stuff. So don't say, I'm sick with the worst because I'm going through a little tiny niggly thing. Don't say, oh my God, I've got the worst headache in the world. I notice some of you say, I've got chronic pain, chronic stress, chronic anxiety. No, take out the word chronic. I have a tiny little niggly, weeny, teeny bit of anxiety. I've got a slight cold, but I'm going through it. I've got a slight headache. I need to drink some water, be gone in 10 minutes. Remember, the psychology talks, the biology, give it something better as I'm going through something minor. Never, I got the worst cold in the whole world. That's the first two things. Give the proof-seeking robot better stuff to proof. If since your psychology talks already, give it better stuff. And here's three more things to do. I want you to massively, massively, massively improve positive self-talk. I'm great, I'm amazing, I'm smart, I'm lovable, I've got a great memory, I'm brilliant at IT, I'm a phenomenal writer, I'm amazing coder. You want to massively up positive self-talk, amplify. Don't say I'm good, say I'm amazingly good, phenomenally good, I'm gifted, I'm talented, I'm smart, I'm lovable, I've got a genius brain. Really amp it up. You want to amplify good stuff. So the third thing you can do really well is to amplify positive stuff about you. And the fourth thing is to negatively limit the negative talk. So while you amplify the positive, you minimize the negative. Instead of saying, I'm an idiot, I got rocks for brains, I just can't work out numbers, I have a terrible memory, you're going to minimize that. My memory's great. So you keep amplifying the good stuff. And then you might say for the bad, well, I didn't fail. I learned something. I learned that wasn't my bag. That wasn't for me. I learned something today, and tomorrow will be even better. So the third and fourth things are to massively amplify positive self-talk about you while massively minimizing negative self-talk. And the final one is visualize the things you want to happen. If you can do those five things, you can have anything you want. You can have the most amazing life. And you can have it pretty much all the time. Some of it isn't that lying to yourself. Yeah. And you know what? So is saying, I've got rocks for brains. I'm an out of control pig. I eat like a horse. I'm starving here. I'm a hot mess. I'm a train wreck. You lie to yourself every day of your life and you go, oh, I'm stressed out of my mind. This job is killing me. This killing me with the death of me. My kids are making me go crazy. My palm is making me go insane. This is a lie. And if you are willing to lie to yourself, tell yourself a better lie. That was the title of my previous book, Tell Yourself a Better Lie. Because my clients would lie every day, how are you? A hot mess. Oh, I had the weekend from hell. I ate like a pig nonstop for 24 hours and I'm a train wreck. Well, none of that's true. You didn't eat nonstop for 24 hours. I imagine you peed, probably had a poo too, and weren't eating on the toilet. I'm imagining you had a bit of sleep in that 24 hours. So you did not eat nonstop. You are not a train wreck. None of that is true, but you're lying to your brain. Why not tell yourself a better lie? I'm a massive fan of what I call lie, cheat, and steal. Lie to your brain, cheat fear, steal back confidence. See, your brain doesn't know if what you tell it is good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, useful or useless, benefit or limit, doesn't know, doesn't care. And again, the proof-seeking robot doesn't know, is this a good thing or a bad? It just proves it to be true. So lie, cheat, and still lie to your brain, cheat, fear, steal back confidence. You go, but I'm lying to myself. Go, yeah, and I've been doing that for years. Every time I say I'm an idiot, I've got a memory like a sieve. I fall apart under pressure. I'm just a hot mess. I'm just chaos. I've just got rocks for brains. I'm an idiot. These are lies. At least have a great lie. I'm phenomenal. I'm amazing. And you know what? It will probably become true. So we've got 5 things I'm going to talk through in a minute how to do them, but I would just want to give you some other handy hints about anxiety. So we're talking a lot. I'd love it if someone could write the 5 down. Could someone in our team write them down? I'm going to quickly go through them again. If you could write it down, you can copy and paste. So the first is give the proof-seeking robot only good things to prove. My metabolic rate is amazing. The minute my head touches a pillow, I can sleep for 8 hours. It's so easy. I'm a wonderful parent. I'm a wonderful partner. I'm really good with people. So 1, give your proof-seeking robot only good things to prove. And let me talk through how you do that again. You ask yourself a question. What I just said, I'm a hot mess. My stomach's doing somersaults here. I'm going to get an upset stomach with stress. My skin's going to break out. Is that helpful? Does that benefit? So flip it. So whatever you're thinking, you can flip the thought. I'm going to mess this up. I'm not prepared. I feel like my heart's going to leap out of my chest. I'm so stressed. Becomes, I am prepared. I've spent ages getting ready for this interview. I know what to say. It's all in there. I'm calm. And when I walk in the room, they're going to like me. And this job has my name on it. Because it's not true. Well, neither is your heart leaping out of your chest. So give it something better to prove. The second thing is, your psychology talks about you. What are you telling it? I'm going to get a headache. I'm going to get sick. I'm going to gain weight. This is going to go wrong. I'm going to be ghosted. I'm going to mess this. I'm going to be a laughing stock. I'm going to get ill. I'm going to forget the most important thing. If you said, I'm going to remember everything, years ago, I was going to do a very important TV interview. It was really important. I just had a baby, literally just think she was a week old. And I remember thinking, okay, this was time of audio. I'm going to make an audio cassette to remember everything for this important interview. I'm going to drive to this, it's an hour drive, and I'm going to listen to the cassette. I made the cassette, I got in the car, so I was driving, I need to rewind it, because of course I'd recorded, so I pressed rewind, and then I totally forgot, because I have one of those weird things where the radio plays, and while you're rewinding a cassette, and then you've got to flip back, and I forgot, I was like, oh my God. I didn't know how to do any of it. You know what? Doesn't matter. Last night I recorded it. It's all in here. I recorded it. And the fact that I didn't listen to it means I don't need it. It's all in here. So my psychology to my biology, I don't need it. It's word perfect. The proof-seeking robot heard, I don't need it. And the third thing, massively up positive self-talk. I was saying, well, I clearly don't need it. And, I said all of this last night when I recorded it. It's all in here. I've done hundreds of TV shows. I'm going to be great. There's no such thing as baby brain. I don't need it. And then the fourth thing is negative, the other stuff. I didn't go, oh my God, what an idiot. Why didn't I listen to it? I'm so stupid. I forgot. Duh, I'm just stupid. I went, I didn't listen to it. It's a minor mistake, but who cares? And the fifth thing is visualize. I'm going to go on screen. I know what to say. I'm word perfect. I'm really good at my job. So you only have to do 5 things. Give the proof-seeking robot only good stuff to prove. When your psychology is talking to Raji, make sure you know what it's saying. Make sure you're clear about what it's saying. Never say, I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to get it just right. Never say, I'm going to get sick. Say, I got a great immune system. Massively improve positive self-talk. Don't go, I'm great, I'm freaking amazing. I've got a fantastic memory. I'm so brilliant at IT. I'm a phenomenal coach. I'm an amazing therapist. I'm a gifted speaker. Really layer it, put words in front of words, increase the impact. You want to expand and never contract, and positive words in front of words make you expand, whereas the, oh my God, I'm going to mess this up again, make you contract. So the fourth thing is minimize the negative stuff, and the fifth thing is visualize what you want. But let me give you some extra things to help you out. And I hope someone in my team is typing this out. I'm sure they are. Let me help you out. Let's imagine you have got an interview. The interview's coming up. It's tomorrow. You got to go and give a presentation. And okay, what did Marissa say? She said, give my proof-seeking robot. I'm so good at interviews. I'm calm, collected, cool. I walk in there and I'm so relaxed. I make eye contact. I know what to say. I smile. They like me. I'm highly qualified for this job. In fact, it's got my name all over it. And I'm telling my biology, I'm ready, I'm calm, I'm chilled, and I'm upping the good stuff. I can do it, I've got it, I'm ready, I'm minimizing the negative, I'm visualizing getting this job. But at the same time, there's a few other things you can do. There's something called box breathing. And box breathing takes all the cortisol out of your body. It was actually designed for Marines in combat. If box breathing can take the cortisol out of a Marine in combat's body, it can do it for you. So let's practice that. I want you to imagine you're going to draw a box. So here's a box, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. So everything is a 4. So just do this with me. I want you to inhale for the count of 4 and draw the side of a box. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to hold it, which is hard for me because I'm telling you, but you're going to hold it while we do the second part of the box. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to exhale for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to hold that exhalation for a count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's hard for me to do it because I'm speaking, but let's do it again. You're going to breathe in for a count of 4 slowly, and imagine you're drawing the first side of a box. So breathe in for a count of 4. Draw that box. And now hold that in breath for a count of 4 and draw the second part of the box. And now exhale for 4. And finally, hold the exhalation and complete the square. So square breathing box. I want you to do it again without my help. Square breathing. Breathe in. Draw the first part of a square. Hold it. Draw the second part. Exhale, draw the third part. And hold it as you draw the fourth part. Box breathing will take all the cortisol out. You don't want cortisol in your body. Cortisol is a precursor for inflammation. Inflammation is a precursor for many, many illnesses. So we have the points listed now at exactly 3:40 p.m. And you can go back, I'm sure you can screenshot that. So there it is, Stephanie, our lovely Stephanie has written it out for you. So have a quick look at that while you're doing box breathing one more time. Draw a square, hold, inhale for the count of 4. Hold that inhalation for the count of 4. Exhale for the count of 4. And hold for the count of 4. And it's listed at exactly 3:40 p.m. in the chat bar. You may be somewhere else in the world, but if you do 40 minutes past the hour, it's there. It's about 3 questions above where you asked. You'll find it. And Stephanie's so lovely. I'm sure she'll put it in several times. There we are. She just put it in for you again. The second thing to do is cross your arms, put your hands on your shoulders. Let me get more of the screen so you can see me doing this a little bit better. This is called a havening technique. I want you to press your arms down, not up, it's only down. You push down, bring them up, push down again. I want you to really push down. You're kind of comforting, consoling, placating yourself over and over again. And every time you push down, I want you to exhale. So let's do this. Breathe in through your nose as you bring your arms up. You always want to make the inhale a little bit shorter and the exhale a bit longer. So let's say we're going to inhale for the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and exhale for 4. Breathe in for 3. Breathe out for. Just keep doing that. Just breathe in. And as you push your arms down, breathe out. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And just keep doing it. You might think this feels a bit silly, but I promise you, if you were sitting in your car, obviously not driving, in the back of an Uber, sitting on a train, in a taxi, sitting outside a room, being called in front of you, and you just do this over and over again. Again, it takes the stress out of your body. These are things that Marines use. I work with so many movie stars. I'll say, before I go on stage, before I go into rehearsal, I do this. It just makes me so calm. So now close your eyes as you and start to say, I'm so calm. I'm super chilled. I'm calm. I'm ready. I'm super chilled. And again, I'm calm. I'm ready. I'm super chilled. I want you to state it, affirm it, embody it. No mumbling is allowed. Say it with me with unshakable conviction in your voice. I am calm. I'm ready, super chilled. I'm calm. I'm ready. You can say I'm prepared. I'm at ease. I'm comfortable. I've got this. Whatever you want to say, I want you to say it now. I've got it. I'm on it. I'm ready. I'm prepared. I'm super chilled. I'm so ready. One more time. No mumbling. State it, affirm it. I've got it. I'm ready. I can do it. And just notice how much better you feel. How much better do you feel? We've just done 2 things, box breathing and havening. And here's another one, which is actually really weird, just doing that. So take your hands together, close your eyes, imagine you're going to an interview, and just do that. Just keep rubbing your hands, saying the same thing. I'm ready, I'm prepared, I'm super chilled, I'm ready, I'm prepared, I'm super chilled, I'm on it, I'm ready. Rub your hands together for another 30 seconds. I'm ready, 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 got it, got it, got it, on it, on it, on it. Put your hands over your eyes and just feel ready. And let's do another one. This is the easiest thing you'll ever do. When we're stressed, we do that. And our psychology says to our biology, I'm so stressed. I want you to push your shoulders down, way down, as far away from your ears as you can. Imagine you're going to an interview, going on a hot date, and you just remember to keep these down. Every time that happens, you do that. Every time it's about to creep up, you push them down, because your psychology says to your body, hey, you're so relaxed as your shoulders are so far away from your ears. The closer they are, the more tense you are. The further down they are, the better you are. You may not feel relaxed, but the psychology tells your biology you're relaxed because of the position of your shoulders. And there's 2 more things you can do. This may seem really, really weird, but actually it's based in psychology. When you are nervous, your mouth dries up. And when you're relaxed, it's wet. That's why kissing is so relaxing. It's very hard to have deep French kissing and feel anxious. Very hard to kiss someone you really like and feel tense. And by the way, court lawyers drink water all the time because they know if my mouth is dry, I'm anxious. If it's wet, I'm okay. Store detectives, customs officers look for people who are licking their lips. That kind of stuff says I'm nervous. So we're gonna give your biology a bit of a lesson from your psychology. I want you just look at me. I want you to fill up your mouth with saliva and pump it. I'm going to do it too without speaking. You won't even know I'm doing it. Fill up your mouth with as much saliva as you can. Swirl it around. You see, I'm doing it and you'd never know. Watch me do it now. You have no idea, but I'm actually filling up my mouth with saliva. My psychologist to my biology, oh, she's so chilled, she's so relaxed. Her mouth is so wet. She's good. You see, years ago, before lie detector tests, they would put a hot knife on someone's tongue if they thought they were lying. And if they weren't, they go, well, they were lying because their mouth's dry. But if they were relaxed, the mouth was wet, they didn't burn. And they thought, well, that's okay. So we've known for years, a wet mouth tells this bit of your body, you're relaxed, and a dry one says you're not. So carry water, drink water. And if you haven't got any, and you're in that interview room on that hot date, giving a talk, giving a presentation, having an assessment, just pump saliva around, nobody will know. And finally, here's one more. If you ever look at kids when they're studying, they do this, they go like that. So as weird as you may think you might look, put your mouth between your tongue right now and just imagine you're revising, rehearsing. This looks like reciting Al, I don't know what that means. Oh, Mo Goddard is a great friend of mine. Blowing onto the hands. Well, yeah, Mo Goddard is an amazing, I think you're talking about Mo Goddard, or maybe someone else. You know, nobody owns this stuff. I didn't say at the beginning I invented this. I told you that the box breathing was invented for Marines. I've never said this is my original work. It isn't. What I've done is put 6 things together. Box breathing, and I told you this is called havening. I never said it was mine. This is havening. This technique, I don't even know where it comes from. It's an ancient yogic technique, I think. Filling your mouth up saliva, an ancient technique, pushing your shoulders back, and finally doing that. You have 6 different things you can do that I promise you will remove anxiety from your body. And the other techniques, the proof-seeking robot, will remove it from your mind. And you know, we always think anxiety comes first, but that's not true. Thoughts come first. You think a thought. So here's a thought. It's like a ladder. Your thoughts create your feelings, and your feelings create your behaviors. So you've got 6 ways of getting anxiety out of your body, and you've got 5 ways of getting it out of your brain. Give the proof-seeking robot something better to do. Make sure your psychology tells your body something good, massively amplify positive self-talk, minimize the negative, and visualize. So you've got 11 things you can do. You can take your pick, and I promise you, I guarantee these work. I couldn't speak on stage. I was the most self-conscious, insecure girl you could have ever imagined. Last year I was on stage with Anna Wintour. I thought, wow, look at me. I'm on stage with Anna Wintour. I feel completely equal to her. I'm on stage with Candace Bushnell. I've spoken with some amazing people, and I think, gosh, I was a girl from a village. I was definitely the girl least likely to. I was insecure. I was self-conscious. I got asked to leave college. My brother and sister went to private school. I didn't. But the person I was then is not me. You can do anything, be anything, go anywhere. There is no ceiling and there is no floor to what you can do, what you can do, what you can achieve, what you can have. But you have to start here with a proof-seeking robot. So while I could speak to you all day, I know we have to move on. I've taken 45 minutes of your time already. I'm going to bring Elise in, and she's going to talk to you about her story. I'm going to stay here, but I'm going to read a lot of your comments because I really love to help people. And I promise you, I've been doing this for years. I've worked with Marines, I've worked with CEOs, I've worked with Fortune 500 companies, I've worked with actors and movie stars and people just like you. And these things work. Someone said rubbing your hands together is another havening. It's done side to side rather than up and down. Oh, so you mean like that? I think you mean like that, but up and down is a yogic technique. So again, these things sometimes get lost in translation. So I think you mean it's like that. I quite like it like that, but it doesn't matter how you do it. It only matters that you do it. So Elise, please come and join us, darling. And meanwhile, I'm going to read some more of these great, great questions. And Elise is going to come back. I think she's there.
Yes,
Elise?
I'm here, Marissa. Yes, thank you so much. Please stick around because Marissa is going to come back in a moment just to do a Q&A with us as well. So if you do have any questions, please, for Marissa, just please pop them in the chat and we'll try and get through as many as we possibly can this afternoon. But some of you might be sitting here right now thinking, you'd replied saying, I want to maybe train in this, I want to do both, but you might be thinking, I can't do it because I'm full of anxiety. And if someone told me 10 years ago that I would be sitting here today hosting a webinar with Marissa Peer in front of thousands of people, I would have said, shut the front door. Absolutely no way that's ever happening. Because I have my own personal battle with anxiety for probably around 30 years. I mean, I was an anxious child who grew into an anxious adult. And when I've done RTT and when I've explored why this was, my father left when I was 3 years old. And in that little mind of that little child, she thought, I'm not good enough. I have to prove myself because if I don't, people are going to leave me. I need to be better, stronger, faster, prettier. And I suddenly created in my little childlike mind this thing where I was like, right, I must be better. I have to prove myself. Otherwise, other people are going to leave me. So my little childhood mind set about making that happen. And I quickly learned actually that achieving things at school, achievements outside of school meant worth because actually I got praised for that. I got lots of people saying I was really good. I was a good girl. I was doing really well. I was clever. And for me, that made me feel safe because I thought they like me. They like me. They want me. They're not going to leave me. And I took that mentality, that little girl mentality, that little 3-year-old, I carried that all through my childhood and into my adult life. And I was exactly the same. From the outside, I looked very successful. I had a great career, really lovely lifestyle, my own home, lovely holidays, great relationships. But the truth was that inside, I was desperately, desperately unhappy and absolutely overwhelmed and ridden with anxiety. Because the reality actually behind the show reel was that I was trapped in a very unhappy marriage. I was stuck in an awful toxic workplace, and I lived in this world of constant catastrophe, extreme fear, sleep deprivation. I was barely eating, barely sleeping. And I was working in this environment where it was very competitive. It was very much hustle culture, who could work the longest hours, who could get the most clients, who could make the most money every month. And for that little part of me that just needed to excel, needed to prove herself constantly to everyone around her, I just pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed myself. So I was working around the clock. I wasn't eating. At one point, I was around 6.5 stone because I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, but I was just constantly pushing myself. And the part of it is that, in that reality, I was actually wearing a mask of professional PR lady. Of course, I'll take on more work. I'll never say no. Just give me everything. There was a running joke in the place that I worked in that I was the workhorse because I worked on every single account. And actually, on the outside, everybody thought that I was doing really well. But actually, inside, I was really desperately struggling and really worried constantly that I would get something wrong. And anxiety for me was such a huge thing that I would open my eyes in the morning and it was instant thoughts of catastrophe. What's going to happen today? What if I don't get this done? Oh, I've forgotten to do this. Oh my God, what am I going to do now? And it got so bad to the point where I would panic so much that I would actually faint. And I've told this tale before, but I think it just sort of epitomizes what anxiety really is and how serious it can be as well. Because I think a lot of the time people go, oh, well, we all get occasionally anxious. But when you're constantly battling anxiety day to day, it just makes you desperately unhappy and miserable. So I was going to work one day, getting on the train, thinking about all the things that I had to do. I had a really tricky meeting with a client. I was really worried about it, overwhelmed. And I just suddenly had this thought when I was sitting there of, this train's going to crash. Oh my God, this train's going to crash. And what am I going to do? Okay. And then I then spent about 25 minutes, half an hour, mapping out what I would do to get out of this all in my head, imagined train wreck. Well, first of all, I'd go and help the people that I could help, and then I would get the little hammer and hammer out the window, and then I would do this. And I had this whole plan mapped out in my head, you know, from end to end about how I was going to escape this train crash that wasn't even happening. And I got off the train that day with my heart racing and my stomach absolutely churning, feeling incredibly faint and thinking, oh my gosh, what have I just done? I've just spent 30 minutes there, you know, planning this out, something that's never going to happen, hasn't happened, never going to happen. And it was only at that point that I realized just how bad anxiety was for me. And actually, I remember going home that day and speaking to my now ex-husband and saying, I've got something to tell you, because the other thing about anxiety as well is a lot of people just don't like to tell anybody about it because they don't want to be seen as weak. And that was me. That was 3-year-old me. If I tell somebody that something wrong, that I'm not coping when everyone else around me is coping, I'm weak. They'll leave me because I'm not proving my worth. So that little child's belief that was in my head was still there. So I didn't tell anybody. I just put on that brave face, put on that mask, and carried on. But one night, like I say, after a particularly terrible, terrible day, I remember going home, sitting with my now ex-husband and saying to him, I've got something to tell you. And I absolutely sobbed. I just sobbed and sobbed for about an hour. And that's because I just felt like I needed to let go. And I said to him, I always remember these words because these words changed everything for me. And I remember saying to him, this is really serious. I've got to stop this now, or I'm going to make myself seriously ill. And as Marissa says, the mind's a wonderful thing, takes everything you say as a command. And so fast forward to just after the birth of my son, where I did finally escape that world eventually, but I had my son and had lots of strange health issues. And after 2.5 years, they eventually diagnosed me with multiple sclerosis. Now, when I've read about this, because I spent a long time reading about it, one of the big contributors is long-term stress, burnout. And I didn't even realize that I was so stressed, so anxious, and so burnt out until eventually my body forced me to stop because I didn't listen. All these little triggers that I was getting, fainting, heart racing, not eating, losing weight, I wasn't saying this is serious anxiety. I was saying there's something wrong with me. And so I just pushed it down and I ignored it until my body forced me to stop. And so once I've been diagnosed, there was a weird sense of relief when I think about it. And the relief was, right, well, I never have to go back to that workplace ever again. Like, can you imagine that? You've just been diagnosed with a chronic health condition. The first thing you think is, at least I don't have to go back to that horrible workplace that was eating me alive. But of course, then comes a new type of anxiety, the health anxiety, every little symptom that I had. So I had lots of sensory symptoms, pins and needles, spasms in my legs, chronic fatigue, and chronic brain fog where I could barely string a sentence together. And so again, I went from one anxiety spiral in my work life into this health anxiety spiral of, oh my God, I'm going to get worse. And everywhere I looked, there were people walking with sticks or people dying or storylines of people with MS. And I just thought, oh my gosh, this is my life now. I've gone from one thing straight into another. But actually, I always feel like there's like a turning point in your life sometimes. And my son had obviously had like a young baby at the time as well. And this was just awful. I just felt like a terrible mother because at this point I was barely leaving the house. I was very introverted because I was worried that if I left the house, I would slur my speech or I would fall over. People would think I was drunk in charge of a baby. And it was just horrific. And actually, just even the prospect of that, of going out and having something happen to me, was just too much. So I became very reclusive. Now, thankfully, my son actually got a space early at nursery, got an early nursery space because of my diagnosis, and he went off to nursery. And the sad thing is, this always makes me really teary when I talk about it. But the sad thing is, I felt happy that he was going to nursery because he was getting away from me. Because I was just this little ball of anxiety, this ball of stress. And I felt like I was directing that on him. I wasn't trying to, but I just felt like he could feel it coming off me. So when he got his space at nursery, I thought, at least he's away from me. He's with other people, positive people, because I was just in a huge spiral of anxiety and depression at this stage. But when he got that space at nursery, I thought, there was a moment where I thought, I can't let him see me like this. I don't want him to grow up seeing me as this, awful, fatigued, brain fogged mum who can't go to his school plays, who can't go out and take him to clubs, who, always seems worried and a ball of tension. And so I started to look around for things that might help me. And I joined lots of support groups, but all I found in the support groups were people saying, oh, hugs, I've had a bad day today. But there was nobody really kind of saying, hey, try this. And then I came across Marissa quite by accident, just flicking through YouTube one day, and I found a Marissa video, and she was talking about the power of the body and the mind, and how a lot of us lose that connection. But once we restore that body-mind connection, we can heal ourselves, we can improve our health. And I just thought, it's like she was speaking directly to me. The way that she was saying it, you can do this, it's all about mastering your mind, being back in touch with your thoughts, listening to your body, things that I hadn't done for years. And so I just binge watched every single video I could find. And then I went and bought all the books and I did a couple of her programs. And I was like, wow, this is absolutely amazing, because I found actually that my energy levels were actually improving, and that I just felt a little bit more confident, felt a little bit less like I'm hopeless and helpless and weak and a failure. And so I decided to go and do an RTT session, because I thought there's something in this, everything she's talking about, the DIC technique, all the sort of healing vortex, cell command therapy. This sounds like she's directly talking to me. And so I went and did an RTT session initially for anxiety, because I thought, even if I can just lift some of this anxiety so I can leave the house, I can take my child to school, I can go to his school plays, I can take him to play groups, that will massively help. And after one session of RTT, I came away and I felt like this massive weight had been lifted from my shoulders. I suddenly felt clearer for the first time in forever, really. I felt freer. And over the space of a few weeks, I just found that I felt more confident. I started to go out again. And even though I still had the MS symptoms, I was thinking, no, I've got a life and I'm getting out. And I suddenly was much more positive. So I thought, okay, this is amazing. This is, changed 30 years of anxiety. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a session around MS. And that's exactly what I did. And over the space of around, I think it was 8 or 9 months, I did 3 sessions of RTT with a lovely therapist, and it completely changed my life. And that's why I'm here today, sitting in front of you, being able to string a sentence together, looking happy, feeling confident, because RTT completely changed my life. And even just uncovering where this began in my life was huge for me, because so many things, I tried so many things for anxiety over the years. I did CBT, I did NLP, I did talk therapy, and I felt like it would work kind of like as a sticking plaster approach, where it would work for a while, but after a while that sticking plaster would wear off. And I'd be looking for the next emotional crutch, the next thing to help me. But RTT changed everything, because instead of just treating those surface symptoms, it went straight to the root cause and told me exactly why I'd spent 30 years being anxious. And I mentioned that at the start, and why MS had come into my life. And actually, the whole thing completely changed my life, because afterwards I thought, this is absolutely amazing. Maybe I could train in this. Maybe I could do this, because 20 years ago, I went to university, did a psychology degree, left wanting to be a counselor or a therapist, but I thought, I've got no life experience at all. I grew up in the valleys of Wales, had quite a sheltered life. Fast forward 20 years, plethora of life experience of burnout, narcissistic marriages, overcoming a chronic health condition. And I thought, now's the time. And of course, there was a little voice in my head still saying, can I really do this though? But I thought, I'm just going to do it. And I jumped in with both feet, even though I was still a little bit nervous about it. But actually, it completely changed my life, because as soon as I started to do the training, I actually felt like I was finally part of something that I'd not felt for a long time, and that was part of a community. Because once you join the training, you're there with all other students there who are all in exactly the same boat, all a little bit nervous, all a little bit worried, can we do this? But it was absolutely amazing, and my experience of the training was just immense. I mean, the training you get from Marissa and her team of trainers is just exceptional, and it equips you with all the tools you need to be the phenomenal therapist when you graduate. But you're part of something as well, part of that RTT family. So it was truly amazing, and I loved doing it. And every time you had a little moment of, oh, can I do this? There was always someone there to say, yes, you can. And I loved that, and it was amazing. And so I graduated and I went out. And I have now been a therapist for 5 years, and it is the best thing that ever happened to me. And when I look back, I always think that things happen for a reason in your life. And actually, I'm really grateful now that MS came into my life in a weird way, because otherwise, maybe I'd still be trapped in that horrible cycle of anxiety and that toxic workplace still. But thankfully, I now have the best job in the whole wide world. And I specialize in working with people with chronic health conditions and anxiety, particularly because I understand it, I get it. And there's nothing more rewarding than seeing other people leave from working with me just transformed and feeling amazing and actually going out and living the life that they want to leave and they want and they deserve as well. So it's truly, truly amazing. So today you just had a little glimpse of what RTT is about. Marissa did a lovely little kind of mini coaching session, I think that was. And I know some of you are wondering as well, could I do this too? So Elise, you talked about how you did it. Marissa's given us a little demonstration today, but could I learn to do this too? And the answer is yes. And if you are sitting there thinking, but I'm too anxious, take my story and know that you can overcome anxiety and you can do whatever you want to do. So it's just all about taking that first step. So I think George is going to bring up some slides because I'm going to tell you all about Marissa's amazing new program, the integrated program, which combines RTT, which is rapid transformational therapy, with rapid transformational coaching. So he's just bringing those up now. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this. So when you decide to become an integrated therapist, you will literally, I guarantee, wake up every morning knowing you're genuinely making a difference and you're doing something worthwhile. So maybe if you are trapped in a corporate career and you're not happy or you're doing work that you're not happy with right now, this is just completely different. This means that, you'll jump out of bed every morning. It doesn't feel like work because you're on a life path, you're doing your life purpose, you're helping other people. This also gives you complete freedom, so you can be your own boss, you can set your own hours, you can work from anywhere in the world with full flexibility. So I've got a 12-year-old son. He has lots of clubs that he goes to. My gosh, yeah, he went from being that little 2-year-old son to now a 12-year-old son. He's got lots of clubs that he goes to, lots of after-school activities. So I fit everything around him. I actually went on holiday to Mexico and to Italy the year before and took my clients with me because I just love what I do so much that I actually ended up doing a couple of sessions while I was on holiday. And you can also as well have that big financial success. So you can build a thriving practice with high earning potential while doing work that you love. And that's the difference, because I was making a great wage in the corporate world, but I hated every single minute of it. Gives you that flexibility. You can do it part-time or full-time. And like I say, it fits around your children, travel, any other commitments that you've got. And once you graduate, it's not just like, bye then, go and be a therapist. Yay, great. Because Marissa's really committed to your continuous growth as well. So you're always learning, you're always developing, you're always becoming that very best version of yourself. And the community, I touched on this just now. Join that global community of RTT, RTC therapists doing amazing work around the world and supporting you on your journey as well. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the integrated program because it is completely different to any other sort of coaching or therapy programs that I've seen before. Because quite often people say, well, how is this different? There's lots, but this is different. So you'll get that client support. So you'll have the opportunity to join our Inner Belief platform. And we're going to speak to a lovely lady who's on our Inner Belief platform shortly as well. So she's going to tell you a little bit more about that. But that's basically to support you with getting visibility and connecting you with clients. We'll help you build your website, so you'll be supported with the tools and the structures to set up your professional online presence. We'll give you all the boring things, basically, so you can focus on being a phenomenal therapist. We'll give you the tech infrastructure, the booking systems, the payment processing. We'll also give you that marketing support as well, because one of the things I think a lot of people worry about is, yes, I've got the skills to be a therapist, but how do I market myself? How do I position myself? Well, we're going to help you with that and help you to find those clients and attract those clients. And Marissa's so committed to this that she has a success guarantee. So basically, it means that we're committed to supporting you in building a massively successful paying client base, as long as you fully complete the program, actively apply the training that we're giving you. But if you do find that, oh, I'm still not quite getting the level of clients that I want, don't worry, because we're going to be there to give you that extra support and guidance and coaching until you actually get that traction. So we're not just going to leave you be. We're always there to support you along the way. So it really is a truly amazing program. And what I love about this is that it combines, I sort of touched on this before, combines rapid transformational therapy, which is getting to the root cause of someone's issue, someone's problem. And it combines that with rapid transformational coaching. So quite often people come to me and they say, Elise, I've got massive anxiety issues, but my dream is to go and stand on stage, ironically, and speak in front of loads of people and be this world famous author, but I just can't see that. And so we use the RTT to work on the anxiety. And then we do the coaching afterwards because it's like, right,
Hello,
now I'm
pretty
anxiety
boy.
free. Where am I going now? We're going to take you there with the coaching. So it really is truly, truly amazing. So I'm going to bring Marissa back because we have lots and lots and lots of questions to go through, but keep on popping them into the chat as well. We'll try and get through as many as we possibly can. So just checking Marissa is here.
I'm
Yeah,
here.
she's back. Amazing. So I'm just going to go through some of the questions. There's lots. So I'm just going to pick some out. But Marissa does read all the questions and she does
I'm
read all
reading
the
them all
comments as
now.
well.
I've only got 50 left. I've done very well.
Okay, amazing. So, Marissa, quite a few people have said this one actually. I feel called to do this work, but I still feel like I have my own issues to deal with. Can I still do this?
Well, of course, there isn't probably a person in the world who has no issues. And by the way, no one says, I want a therapist. Can I have someone who's perfect with a perfect life? Because they wouldn't understand you. People come onto my course and say, Marissa, I want to do this so much, but I still have problems with food, or I still have issues going on in my own relationship or whatever it is. I still have insomnia. The great thing about training with us is that during the training, every single week you become a therapist and a client. So every week you are a client, we have a practice register, and you'll be having full on proper RTT therapy. And you will get to cover all your issues. So I always say to when you're doing this as a trainee, turn up for your practice session as the therapist with real issues. 2 weeks ago, we had our live course in Chelsea. We were saying, wow, I was doing a practice with this girl and, she was amazing. It was amazing that I felt so much better, even though she hadn't finished the course. Because RTT is just the most amazing, effective therapy, I think, in the whole world. It finds the pattern, understands about it, and then changes it. So if you turn up with your issues, Elise has told you she had issues. I told you I couldn't speak in public. I was insecure. We had a girl who came to my early training called Bertie, and Bertie would call me and say, I want to come on the course. And she'd get ready. And she goes, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Anyway, she turned up on the course. First day in tears, second day, but by the fourth day, she was amazing. And a couple of times I've been given a job with the BBC or Sky News, and I'll say, hey, Bertie, do you want to take this job? Yep, I can do that. And she'll literally go on the radio, go on the television, and speak every bit as well as me because she turned up as someone who couldn't speak in public and was anxious, and now she speaks in public. I don't think she even knows what anxiety is anymore. So we have had many people who've turned up and said, I had chronic skin conditions, I had chronic migraines, they've all gone. So by all means, come to the training with your issues. I promise you'll let them go because our technique is so thorough. So no one wants a perfect therapist. They want someone to say, hey, I used to smoke, I used to drink, I used to eat cake, I used to self-sabotage, I used to procrastinate. I don't do it anymore. And I'm fully equipped to help you do the same thing. And people love it when they go, wow, you went through that? You had a broken heart, you were infertile, and here you are. We've had so many women on our course who were told they couldn't get pregnant. We have one indeed called Andrea, and the BBC did a whole show about her vast success working with infertility, because you might decide to niche. We have a beautiful girl called Kat Rhodes who was in hospital. She was 3 days away from death. She turned up and they said, you've got such advanced bowel cancer. There's nothing we can do. You can't have any kind of treatment. You're too far gone. We're going to send you to a hospice. And that was 7 years ago. She's completely cured and she is our go-to. She specialized in working with people with cancer. We have another girl called Rebecca who specializes in PTSD because that was her issue. So your issue will become probably your niche, and that's a wonderful thing. So thank you, thank you. I'm here for more and more questions.
Yeah, Marissa, I always say that I feel like your struggles are your superpower as a
Of
therapist,
course
aren't
they
they? Because
are.
they make you completely
Absolutely, because you have a
relatable to
level
other
of
people.
understanding.
Yeah, exactly. Lisa is saying, I've been watching you for years and need help. I have such confidence. However, I feel like I need to retrain my brain, but I'm 65 and having a lot of negative self-talk. What would I do?
Well, you do have to retrain your brain. Remember, your brain is a robot. We're all talking about this word energy, energy and energy, but quantum physics, the most reliable science in the world says this. You're an energy, You vibrate at a frequency. We all do. And if you can change the frequency you vibrate at, if you can change your energy, you can change your own life and maybe someone else's. But here's the thing, words have energy. Think of the word brutal or abattoir or murder or assault or terror. They have a really bad energy. And then think of the words healing, calm, peaceful, joy, bliss. So words have an energy. And I love this expression, words are the thread on which you string your every experience. What words are you saying about yourself at 65, or the mother of 4 kids, or someone who doesn't like their job? What are the threads you're stringing onto your experience? Your words shape your reality. If you don't like your reality, change your words. When I had cancer, I never really referred to it. I called it a blip. It was a thing. In fact, I called it can, because the first 3 words of cancer are can. I can bounce back. I can do this. I can live my life. And I did. Not because I'm better than anyone else or particularly gifted, but because I understood one thing, the power of what I was presenting to my brain. After all, if I had dry skin and put balm on it, wouldn't it sink in? Whether it was beautiful organic balm or full of toxins, still going to go in. And your brain is like your skin. Whatever you introduce, it will go in. Introduce better stuff. And training with us, there's no age limit. We've had people in their 60s. After all, as a therapist, no one's going to go to a 20-year-old therapist. They want someone who's wise, who's seen a bit of the world. It's one of the rare jobs where the older you are, the more you're perceived as wise and full of wisdom. And for women especially, it's the most amazing career because you can work entirely around your kids. Start at 10, finish at 3, take a day off anytime you like, don't have to ask your boss. It's a job where you have freedom to work your own hours, freedom to set your own fees, freedom to take time off if your kid needs you, but also to do something that really matters, to have an impact, to have a career that gives you meaning and purpose, but also freedom and flexibility. So I think I've wandered away from the question, Elise, forgive me. But remember, words have an energy. And ask yourself a question, what would I have to believe about myself to be an amazing therapist? What would I have to believe to not? That's a good question. What would I have to believe about me to become an RTT therapist? What would I have to believe to not do it? Whatever the answer is, that will open the door or close it. What would I have to believe to know I'm enough? What would I have to believe to know I'm not enough? Start with that question. What would I have to believe to find love? What would I have to believe to repel love? What would I have to believe to have a killer body? What would I have to believe to never have a healthy body? What would I have to believe to go so far in my career? What would I have to believe to stay stuck? Because you're making these beliefs and they're making you. And your beliefs are yours to change, to upgrade, to improve. When you change your beliefs, you change your life because they're yours. And by the way, belief is nothing more than a thought you think a lot.
Thank you, Marissa. And you'll see that on my screen now, I've just popped a QR code there. So if this is resonating with you guys, if you are thinking, wow, I'm loving what Marissa's saying, she's doing today. And yes, if Elise can do it, I can do it. Jump on board. Trust me, it's the best decision that you will ever make in your entire life because I am so excited and happy every single day that I see my clients now because seeing the transformation in them just makes everything worthwhile. I love what I do. I do what I love. And as Marissa says, it feels like you're never working a day in your life. So if this is resonating with you, if you would like to find out more, just scan that QR code now and book your call. And at first, I'm going to be really honest, I was a bit like, oh no, I don't want to book my call because what if they try to sell something to me? And I've still felt a bit awkward about that. But actually, they are the most lovely team. They'll answer all of your burning questions. They'll tell you everything about payment plans, everything about how the program operates, how it runs. And they also talk to you about whether this is a good fit for you as well and whether you're a good fit for RTT. So please just book that call. Don't put it off like I did for a long time because I was worried to do so, because otherwise maybe I would have been a therapist for 7 years now. So I think I put it off for about a year and a half, which was crazy now. But it really is the best job in the world. So scan that QR code, book your call. The calls are completely free, no obligation. So book your call and yes, come and join me and Marissa. So Marissa, I'm just going to go back to a few more questions. I know you've
Of
got to go
course.
pretty soon, but I'm just going to try and power through a few. We talked about that. There's no age limit, is there? Because there's
No
a
age
couple of people
limit at
said I'm
all.
old. Okay. What would you say to someone who feels this path is calling for them, but they're still terrified with anxiety?
I would say book a call. You know, the word terrified is a big word. I would stop saying you're terrified and say I'm mildly concerned with some old thoughts. So remember, what is your psychology telling you about you? I'm terrified with anxiety becomes I'm mildly aware of some limiting thoughts. But you know, what happens when you stop thinking that thought? Well, it doesn't exist. A belief is a thought. You think a lot. These are your thoughts and you can change them. And you saw how real I were the magnet, sorry, with the bucket, the balloon, and the lemon. So I would say that talk to someone on our course. I think our course, and I know our course has a money back guarantee. You can take the first 14 days and see how it feels. If you really feel, oh no, I'm not ready, you get a money back guarantee, no questions asked. But I think you'll find that you love it. And the wonderful thing about changing other people's lives is you cannot possibly do that without massively, powerfully changing your own. So I, as I said, was an insecure, self-conscious girl. My life changed when I changed other people's lives. When I helped other people change their lives, it changed mine so dramatically, so powerfully, so beautifully. And you know, I'll never retire. I love what I do as much now as I did when I started it, amazingly 41 years ago. Most people can't say I love my job as much now as on day one. Most people can't say my job gives me meaning, purpose, impact, contribution, growth, making a difference, certain diversity. It gives you so many things, significance, connection. It's the best job in the world. And if you're even mildly interested, book a call. We'll send you some material, book another call. And remember, you can take the first 14 days of the course and get a full refund, no questions asked. I mean, legally, we have to give you that refund, even if you don't want to. So I'm not telling you that to give you false hope. We are legally bound. All remote online sales must give you a refund within 14 days. So we don't even need to promise that to you because it is the law, but we would promise that anyway. You've heard it from my mouth and Elise's and in writing.
Thanks, Marissa. A lot of people have been asking, do they need to have any kind of background in psychology or previous experience to do the training?
No, no, we don't require any prior background in therapy or psychology or biology. The thing we love you to have is people skills. If you like people, if you're interested in people, if you're excited at the idea that your skills can help someone change, that's what we like. So we have a lot of people who were flight attendants, worked in the city, people who are beauticians. We have a lot of police officers and indeed nurses and school teachers who train with us. They have the people skills, but they want to do something where they can really see the impact they're making, one heart, one soul at a time.
Amazing. Few questions about how long is the program? So generally, it's around 21 months, Marissa, isn't
Yeah,
it?
around 21 months. But you can start seeing paying clients after 6 months. Although the full program is 21 months, you'll get your certificate in rapid transformational therapy in 6 months. And in 6 months, you can start to see clients and, of course, earn back your investment.
So yeah, so it takes around 6 to 9 months to do the RTT section. So that's the bit that you would do first. Then 4 to 5 months to do RTC, that's rapid transformational coaching. And then around 7 months to do the upgrade to clinical hypnotherapy. So around 21 months, but it depends how much time you can kind of allocate to it as well. And a few people have asked that. So it's really how much time can you dedicate to doing it. So for example, I did it in around 10 hours a week and I finished in just under a year, I think it was. So it's really easy and flexible. So if you are still working as well, because I've seen another few people saying, well, I'm already working, will I be able to allocate time to do this or will it take up lots of time? No, it's really how much time do you have to dedicate to it? And then you'll either finish it quicker or you'll just be a little bit slower at finishing it. But it's really at your own pace. And that's what I loved because I didn't want the pressure of, right, I've got to do this and I've got to do this in 9 months. And I spread it over a year. And I found it really easy to do, slotting it in around everything else that I was doing. So it was really great. Marissa's already mentioned this. Can I start seeing clients while I'm studying? Yes, you can after you've got your RTT certificate. I love the idea of helping people. This is an interesting one, but I'm scared of being responsible for someone else's transformation. How do you prepare students for that?
Well, we don't ever say we're responsible. We help people. RTG is very clear. You find the pattern, understand the pattern, change the pattern. So you don't actually take your clients anywhere. They take you exactly where they need to go. After all, if you went to the doctor and said, "Hey, I've got migraines," you wouldn't say, "And it's your job to fix me." The doctor might say, "Are these stress migraines? Are these hormonal migraines?" They try to find out what's causing them and they give you appropriate medicine. They don't go, "Hey, it's my job to take on these migraines." So just like a dentist, a doctor, a chiropractor, we don't take on that responsibility. Clients don't come in and go, "Here's my problem, it's yours to fix it." We help people become the very best version of themselves. But we don't take on that responsibility because the client must participate in their recovery. We give them an audio to listen to, we give them some advice, and most of them love it. Almost no one comes back and says, "Hey, you didn't fix me," because they know that we're fixing each other. The therapist is giving them advice, giving them a recording. And I tell clients, you must play that recording. You must listen. If someone said, "Hey, I've come in to stop smoking. When I left, I put a cigarette in my mouth to see what happened," they wouldn't go, "And I blame you." They go, "I was just being stupid. I don't know why I did that." In every level where you're going to see a practitioner, whether it's a chiropractor, an osteopath, a dentist, you would expect to participate in your recovery. And so it isn't that you're responsible for your client's illness. You help them get better and become the very best version of you with these skills that we teach. And the skills are extraordinary. The method of RTT is incredible. And I don't think you'll worry about it. I think once you get started, you'll see it's so powerful. Do you ever feel that at least responsible for your clients?
No, yeah, well, obviously you feel a level of responsibility towards your clients, but at the same time, I know that I have the training and the support and the advice to transform lives and work with people. So I'm so confident to do it because somebody else had asked this question as well, like when you first start out, how do you start building that business? And I actually worked with lots of friends and family to start with and worked in that little comfort zone until I built up that extra bit of confidence to go out there and work with people. But within the school, you're always taught you work within your scope of practice, you get all the additional support. Because we are one big RTT community as well, we have an alumni group on Facebook where quite often we will share not personal details of case studies, but we'll share case study details and say, what would we do about this? So we're always sharing, getting advice from the trainers, getting advice from Marissa. Marissa's in that group, replying to people in the alumni group when they've got sort of queries or questions. So there's always been that level of support where you just feel like you have the knowledge and skills you need to go out and be the best therapist you can ever have and change other people's lives. So, whilst changing your own as well. So, this is an interesting one, actually, Marissa. I can't remember who it's from because it scrolled past really quickly, but I noted it down. I work with ladies in prison with drug addiction. Would this be very good or perfect to help them?
Very much so, because I've worked with thousands of addicts in my lifetime, every kind of addict, drug addict, alcoholic addict. I've never met one ever, and I do mean ever, who thought they're enough. An addiction is classified as anything that takes you away from a bad feeling to a good one. And people get addicted because they can't cope with what I call the emptiness inside. I drink to numb the pain, I use to stop feeling. And I've worked with many addicts, and when they understand that addiction is running, that it is caused from the not enoughness, and we fix the not enoughness, it's a game changer. And we've taken a lot of our work into the prison system, into the school system. And I think you could do a lot of great work there, and I really hope that you do.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about the support when you get onto the training? Tell me a little bit about the training program and what it looks like.
Do you want to answer that one, Elise?
Yeah, so from my perspective, I took part in, I did part of the live training, but I also did online training as well, which was kind of done at your own pace. So you're at home doing the modules, but also virtual classrooms. So I think they're called live classrooms now. In my day, they were called virtual classrooms. But that's basically where you go on and you do learning with the trainers. Marissa is also there. She does a teaching, does a session, but then you're split off into smaller groups. So you get to practice with your peers. Now, I found that massively nerve-wracking to start with, but massively helpful because obviously you're practicing the theory that you're being taught on other people, on your fellow students. And then the trainers come in, they give you feedback on what you've done. One of you plays the client, one of you plays the therapist, they give you feedback. And yeah, I just found it absolutely so supportive, so amazing the whole way through, because everything was just so pulled together, coherent, wonderful, and really engaging as well. And plus, I found as I was going through the training myself, it was again helping me. I'd already done the RTT sessions, but I still found that this was massively helpful doing the training for my confidence levels, because my confidence levels went from, okay, I'm pretty confident again, to through the roof, because I was like, yes, I can do this, because you can't help but be pumped up, and you get all the support and all the advice and all the training you need, like I say, to go out and be a phenomenal therapist. So if you want to be a phenomenal therapist too, scan that QR code, jump on board, join us, join our amazing RTT family, because you will not regret it. Trust me. Like I say, I went from working in a horrible corporate environment where I woke up every morning full of anxiety, full of fear, imagining train wrecks and hating my life when I think about it. Now, I had no life. I was barely surviving, let alone thriving, to now running a thriving practice, doing the best job in the whole wide world, working with Marissa, working with amazing clients. So don't delay, scan that QR code. Don't be a dummy like me and leave it for 18 months thinking, oh, well, I'm not sure. Just speak to our lovely team, because they're absolutely amazing. So yes, another question actually, will this help me with my own issues? I touched on that just then. Absolutely, because what you also do as part of the training, I think Marissa touched on this as well, is reflective practice. So as well as the structured sessions, the live classroom sessions, you also do reflective practice, which is where we pair you with another student, and you basically do a full session. So you're always practicing, you're doing the practicals, you're not just learning theory, you're doing this in action as well, so that at the end you go out feeling confident enough to start seeing clients. So next question. Can you tell me a bit about supervision after graduating?
Do you want to answer that one, Elise, too?
So yes, so there are supervision opportunities and CPD requirements. I mentioned this sort of earlier on as well. We don't just let you graduate and then say goodbye. We are always there to support you. You can have access to supervision should you need it. Like I say, you get access to the peer groups, to the alumni forum. Marissa does, if you join the alumni, Marissa does ongoing trainings there. So all the latest tools and techniques that are kind of being added, you'll get those. You'll get access to programs, things like, so for example, if you wanted to specifically niche in anxiety, we have protocols that for you to follow and for you to use. So it really is massively comprehensive. So we don't just say, well done, go and be a lovely therapist now. We want you to stay part of that amazing RTT family.
I want to answer a question because it's Francesca has said it's so exhausting to keep trying to retrain your brain for the positive when you are naturally so negative. I'm constantly in a downward spiral. Any advice to keep going? And how do you really train your brain so life can be gentle and nice? But you see, it isn't natural to be negative. There isn't a newborn baby in the world that's negative. There isn't a small child that's negative. In fact, small children have a belief you're going to come and love me. I'm covered in vomit or my nose is running, but you love me and you're going to take care of me. So babies are naturally very, but they don't think, oh my God, I can't get to grips with this walking. I can't get a banana in my mouth. The truth is we are born wired for success in the womb. It's always 75 degrees. You have 24-hour room service. Someone's always there. And a baby is born incredibly positive. In fact, if you shut them in a cupboard, they'd cry for hours because they have a belief someone is coming. So while I understand, Francesca, what you believe, it's an incorrect belief. You were born positive, and all you have to do is reactivate, remanifest, regenerate what you were born with. And it's not even exhausting to get that back. It's a way of tricking your brain. The more you say, I'm positive, I'm ready, I'm on it, the more your brain believes it. And it doesn't take long at all. And I get it, you're in a downward spiral, but you can put yourself into a positive spiral so quickly. In fact, in my book, my new book, Your Mind, Your Rules, I talk about a woman who was so depressed, so anxious on every kind of medication. She said, I had one session with you and you changed my life. My kids are still a challenge. My husband's still a bit absent. My boss is still difficult, but I am just sailing through life because you told me that I have phenomenal coping skills. I'm an incredible parent. I'm a wonderful partner, and I'm an asset to my boss, and my brain believes it. And it started to prove it every day. So you see, when you say it's exhausting, the proof making robot, when you say, actually, wow, this is so much better. I love this positive thinking. And it's kind of easy. And I was born like it anyway. So I've just gone back to my natural state. It's a much better thing to say. And I know you believe it's exhausting, and I promise you isn't. People say, well, how long does it take to change? Is it 21 days? It can be 21 seconds or 21 minutes. I really hope you read my new book, Your Mind, Your Rules, because it will help you, Francesca, understand you're operating on the wrong rule set and it's keeping you stuck. And if you just make a tiny switch, a really tiny switch, it will set you free. So I just wanted to quickly address that. And now I'm back, Elise.
Thanks so much, Marissa. And that's really important to address as well, and to, to respond to people's comments, because I know a lot of people are still kind of in the chat today saying, well, I'd really like to do this, but I've still got that negative Nancy sitting on my shoulder, or I've still got this anxiety. So what advice would you say to people who are sitting here today and they're saying, train me, do both, but they still have that little doubt in their mind where they feel like they need to be fixed? Because a lot of people come to us, Marissa, don't they, saying, well, I'm not fixed, so I can't possibly do this. What would your advice be?
Well, I would say sign up for the course and get fixed. Get fixed during your, after if you're training to be a yoga teacher, wouldn't you expect that during the yoga training you'd learn the techniques and the breathing? If you were training to be an aerobic instructor, if you were training to be a personal trainer, or wouldn't you expect to become physically fit? I used to teach for Jane Fonda, and one of the requirements was you became very fit as you did her training. So if you were training people to run marathons, you would become very good at marathon running. I work with a lot of Marines, and they don't start the Marines fit, but they go through the training. This is mental training. And as you go through it, it will change your whole life.
Amazing. Thanks, Marissa. Marissa, I know you've got to go in a second. There was a question that I just found
Okay,
there,
could
but
we also, someone said, could we put up the link to the new podcast when I talk a lot about the proof making? Maybe we could put that link up as well.
yeah, if we
But I
can.
can stay for a little bit longer. It's okay. I'll get you just take your time to find that question.
Okay, perfect. But meanwhile, book that call. QR code's on the screen there. If nothing else, you'll come away with clarity on whether this is the right fit for you or not. And if it's not, for any reason, our team are there to support you anyway and to point you in maybe other directions or other things that might be suitable for you. So we're there to help you. We're there to support you. We want you to succeed. So yes, scan that QR code, get that call, book that call in and sign up. Because a few people have been like, oh, I'm a bit worried about signing up for a call. Please don't be, because they're such a lovely, friendly team and they're so knowledgeable. People have been asking about payment plans. There are payment plans available. They will talk you through absolutely everything. So please just book that call, scan that QR code, and yes, come and be one of us. Come and join our amazing RTT family. Someone here has said, English isn't my first language. Can I still train?
Yes, you can still train. You can train, of course, in English, and then you can go on to do the therapy in your own language. That's fine. And of course, now with AI, AI can translate every script and every document into your language. So the training is in English, but many of our clients deliver the sessions in Spanish, Arabic, French, probably every, I mean, I think we have RTT therapists now, almost 20,000 all over the world, delivering in every kind of language. So yes, you can do that. And by the way, if your question doesn't get answered, again, when you book your call, it's a no obligation call. We don't try and force you to pay or leave a deposit, but you can book your call and say, hey, I didn't get my question answered. Could you answer it for me? And absolutely, we will.
A couple of people, well, I saw a comment earlier, and then someone saying something very similar about, can RTT help with menopause and anxiety? And being a menopausal woman myself, who after getting rid of anxiety suddenly had a big bout of driving anxiety, this was the other comment I'd seen, it absolutely can help, really can help, because I've using the tools and techniques that I've been trained to do is massively helping me to go through this and to manage my mind, to listen to my body. So yes, it massively helps. Any other advice or words on that, Marissa, on menopause and
Yeah,
anxiety as
I
a result of
mean, of
that?
course, the menopause is a thing. Someone actually put in the Are you saying that every illness is the mind body? No, of course, some people, doctors will tell you that 80% of people turning up in the emergency room have real physical problems caused not by diseased organs, but by diseased thinking. And of course, 20% don't. So 20% of us, of course, we get real headaches, real stomach aches, real issues. However, the menopause can be awful for people, but a lot of it is down to what do you expect? You know, studies show that girls have the same period as their mothers, even if they're adopted. If the mother says, I've got the curse, this is agony, they expect that. And if the mother says, I'm off to play tennis, periods and nothing, they expect that. And here's a rule of your mind. What is expected tends to be realized. When you hear about hot flushes and being really irritable, and there's a lot of stuff about menopause now, and it talks about the symptoms and how awful they are. But for some people, it's not true. Some people sail through it. Some people have awful periods and PMT, and some people don't. So the thing is, as you're coming up to a situation, menopause, retirement, you get to choose how you're going to be. Don't let someone else define your menopause, your change of life, your retirement, your sex life. It's up to you to decide how you're going to be. You know, when I had my baby, I always remember lying in the hospital bed, having just delivered a baby, and I was told I could never have children, couldn't conceive a child, would never be able to carry a child. And if I managed by some fluke to do that, I would not have a physically healthy child. And when I defied all of that, conceived, carried a baby, gave birth to a perfect baby, I was lying in bed and the nurse came up and she said, let me give you some Kleenex. This is for postnatal depression. It's going to show up on day 3. And we like to be ready and we're just going to explain that all the hormones change and the whole ward is a weeping scene. And I said, oh, no, no, no. I'm not having that. You see, I'm having postnatal euphoria. And she looked at me like I was completely bonkers and thought, oh my God, she's already got the hormones going on here. And she began to patiently tell me very kindly, and I had to tell her very kindly, no, I'm not having that. I'm not letting that in. We are defined by what we will let in and don't let in. And it's very important for you to say, okay, the menopause is coming. Some people hate it, some people don't even notice it. Shall I choose what kind of menopause to have? Shall I choose what kind of retirement? Shall I choose? And you know, when I got run over, I had to choose how I was going to recover. And I always remember being in hospital. My leg had been broken in 16 places. And in came this very nice consultant with a catalogue. He said, this is for the orthopedic shoes you're going to have to wear for the rest of your life. I said, don't even show me that. There is not a chance in the world I'm wearing orthopedic shoes the rest of my life. He said, well, you know, you have to. And I said, no, I don't have to. My foot's going to be just fine. As it happened, because I had a home, I'd been living in America, and my home in London, I had a picture of all my shoes that when I was packing, I knew what I had. And I was looking at that saying, I'm wearing all those shoes again. And I never ever wore orthopedic shoes. I never got measured for them. I didn't look at them because I don't want to say, oh, that one's not so bad. I said, no, I'm not going to look at them because it's not up to you, it's up to me. I believe my leg will heal. They said, well, you're going to have a limp. One leg will be shorter than the other. You're always going to have arthritis. That's a given. You can't walk for 6 months and you have to wear orthopedic footwear. I walked in 6 weeks and never had arthritis. My legs were exactly the same length. I don't have a limp and I'm wearing heels all over again. Why is that? Because I chose what to let in and not to let in. And we are very defined. You know, my mother would, for instance, when she was going away, she'd buy anti-sickness tablets. She'd buy anti-digestive tablets, antacids for after every meal. And she always planned to get sick, and she did. My dad never got sick a day in his life. They were both my teachers. So we got to think, what am I letting in here when I expect the menopause? Can I sail through it? Weirdly, I never had a menopause. I had womb cancer. And my doctor said, you know, you really should have your womb taken out. I didn't want, he said, no, no, this can go to your liver and that's it then. So I said, okay. So I had my womb removed and I didn't feel any different. My life was exactly the same. I had no symptoms, no hot sweats, no night sweats. No, I just felt like it was weird. Like they took my womb away. I didn't have any periods, but my life didn't change at all. I had no symptoms whatsoever. And I think it's because when they told me I had womb cancer, I thought, well, that's a stroke of luck. I mean, I didn't straight away. The first 2 days were a bit of a shock. Then I thought, well, a stroke of luck. I don't need a womb. I have all the organs to have cancer in. How lucky am I that people say, oh, you're so unlucky. I said, no, no, I'm lucky because I've got it in an organ that I don't need. I mean, I don't need it. It's done its job. It's given me a great kid, and I'm not going anywhere because that great kid will need me for many years to come. So I had my womb removed. I said goodbye to it, had a little conversation with it about how it's done its job, and I had no symptoms at all. And I don't know why that was. Was that luck? Was that how I was talking to myself? I think it's because I kept saying, this is a blip. This is a blip. One people said, oh, God, you've been so unlucky. I said, actually, I've been so lucky because I'm still here. And I didn't need a womb. I mean, God forbid I got it in my eye or my spine. I got it in an organ I didn't need. And the thing with being the way I am, it probably sounds a bit sickening, I understand, but first it's what you do, but then it's who you are. You don't have to do a thing because it's like a feedback. You start off telling your brain positive stuff, better stuff, but then very quickly it takes over and it does it for you, like Elise, what she's done with her body and her brain. We have this feedback machine, this biofeedback where we tell ourselves good stuff and it begins to tell us. So I would say the menopause is a blip, go in it and out. I've had clients I've hypnotized to go through it in weeks to not even notice it. And I've had many clients I've worked with cancers. We have a beautiful girl, Ariel, on our team who was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and told there was nothing they could do. She was about to get married. And I said, Ariel, and she was having chemo. I didn't. I said, Ariel, when the chemo goes in, I want you to say, I love the chemo. It's keeping me alive. It's giving me my life. I'm getting married. Thank you, chemo. Thank you. This beautiful red liquid. Because people say, oh, I looked at it as a poison. She said, no, I looked and thought, this is a beautiful thing that's given my life back. And Ariel's still here. She got married. Her hair's all grown back because she had to decide what to let in. Was that chemotherapy a poison that would give her a few years, or was it a beautiful thing that was going to give her her entire life? And do you remember how, of course you remember Ariel, don't you?
Yeah,
How she
loved Ariel.
bounced back. And she
Absolutely.
credited it all to this audio I made telling her to love the chemo, to say thank you, thank you, thank you for giving me my entire life back. Not a bit, not a month, but in my entire life. Because the words you present to your brain are going to present back to you. Be careful what you present to your brain. Why it's going to turn around and present it right back to you. It's that energy of the words. And with menopause, use good energy. I'm floating through it, sailing through it, barely notice it. It's nothing at all.
No, absolutely. And recently, I'm very, very rarely ill now at all. And then recently, I had a horrible virus which gave me this nasty vertigo. I spoke to my doctor. My MS nurse is on the phone. Oh, this could be a relapse. It is not a relapse. I've just got some virus. I know what my body needs. My body needs 2 days of bed rest, and then I will be absolutely fine. And they really wanted to say, oh, well, we need to get you in for an MRI. We need to do tests. And I knew that it wasn't a relapse. And I knew that what my body was capable of, and my body was just fighting an infection, and it just needed rest. I had 2 days of bed rest, and then I was absolutely fine. Rang her, said, I don't need an MRI. I know that I am really well. There's nothing wrong with me. But again, it's about not taking those words in, knowing your own mind, knowing your own body, and knowing that you're a wellness making machine all along. So if this is all resonating with you, if you are thinking, yes, I want to jump on board, I would love to be able to do what Marissa does, what I do, what Ariel does. Somebody said, does Ariel do RTT? Yes, she does. She's an RTT therapist as well, because she obviously has had her life transformed and now she's going out transforming the lives of others. So jump on board, book that call now. QR code is on the screen. The link is also in the chat, but come and join. So, Marissa, we've got Nikki just waiting, who's going to tell us a little bit more about life as a therapist. But any final words for everybody? And thank you so much for staying so long, particularly
Just one final word. When I had been run over and I was in hospital and I had surgery because I did have 16 bones that had been together. And the nurse came in with literally a carrier bag on it. She goes, are you in pain? And I said, no. She goes, are you suffering? I said, no, I'm in discomfort, but I'm not suffering. I'm not in pain. They kept saying, well, how bad is the pain? There's no pain. And I said, so I don't really need these drugs. And by the way, how much are you going to charge me for this bag? And it goes £600. I said, you can take it all back. I'm in discomfort. You see, I told my brain the proof seeking, right, I'm in discomfort. And the opposite of that is comfort. So I could get myself in a position of comfort in that bed with my leg up in a thing, and I could go to sleep and I wasn't in discomfort anymore. But if I said I'm in pain or I'm suffering, I got to alleviate the pain. And somebody wrote and said, I heard you say that. And I said it, and I've come off all my medication, come off everything by just saying I'm in discomfort, even mild teeny discomfort, a little tiny bit of discomfort, mild discomfort, slight discomfort is very different to chronic pain, intense pain. And again, that probably sounds a bit Pollyanna, but I had major surgery. I had 16 pins in 16 bones. And I said, I'm in mild discomfort. And I didn't take that medication. And I went home and my leg went back to normal because I told it to. We have something on the course called command cell therapy, where you command the body to go back and heal. And the body likes really military type words. It doesn't want to hear, every day and everywhere, I hope I get better. It's like I'm commanding my leg, my left leg to look exactly like the right. And that's exactly what happened. So thank you, thank you. I'm going to let you go and meet this gorgeous girl, one of our team. We'd love you to join our tribe. We're like such a great group of people all over the world, helping people be the best version of themselves. We'd like to do that for you, and we'd like you to do that for other people. So thank you. Thank you. I'm going to stay in the background, finish reading all these great messages. But thank you for turning up. And by the way, please, if your message hasn't been answered, write in, book a call. It's free. Book a call, ask your questions, and let's see if you're for us and we're for you. I really hope so. Love you. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you so much, Marissa. Marissa always gives us such an amazing, wonderful experience. So thank you. And thank you for staying as well, particularly if you're in the UK and we're going through this crazy heat wave at the moment as well. So thank you so much. So as Marissa said, book your call now. It's no obligation. It's completely free. Just book that call and jump on board and be one of us. A couple of people, I think Sammy, you'd asked whether you could do an RTT session with me. Stephanie, if you could just give Sammy a note of my email address, that would be amazing. Yes, because I work with autoimmune. Lots of people saying thank you. Marissa always reads all of your comments, but who I'd like to welcome now is just to give you, you've heard from me, you've heard from Marissa, you've seen what we do, but I would love to invite Nikki Reskin. I'm hoping she's here in the waiting room waiting for us. I'd love to invite Nikki to join me. Guys, is she here in the background?
I'm here.
Yay!
Hi.
Yay! So lovely to see you. Thank you so much for waiting for us because we've
Oh,
massively run
honestly,
over.
it was no problem. The only thing with being on a call with Marissa, which by the way is like a dream come true, because I love Marissa so much and have done for the last 5 years, slightly obsessed. But when I listen to her voice, I kind of drift off because I've listened to so many of her hypnosis audios. I go into like a state of hypnosis. I love listening to her. It's a pleasure to be here. And yeah, apologies, I've got a little bit of a cold, so I'm slightly husky. But yeah, ask me anything, Elise, because I'm probably going to need directing because I have so much to say and so much to share.
And that's why you're here, Nikki, because I know
Yes.
you would just be amazing. And thank you for joining us today, because I know there's been issues with, the kids being off school because of the weather and everything, because we're having extreme weather temperatures here in the UK. So thank you for coming anyway. I said to Nikki, don't worry if the kids running around in the background. That's mum life.
Yeah, they
And
might
actually,
they
yeah,
may be coming in, but just ignore them if there's any singing or anything going on.
that's fine. Amazing. So thank you for being here. So tell me a little bit more about what life was like for you before you kind of learned about RTT. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I was listening to your story earlier at least, and it's quite weird how many similarities I can find between the two of us. So I'm guessing that out of the people that are left on the call, a lot of people will resonate with you and probably with my story as well. But I don't resonate with saying that I had anxiety because I didn't know I had it at all. Obviously, I did. It was chronic and I'd had it since I was a little girl. Because when I was 5, I was diagnosed with scoliosis, which is a curvature of the spine, and it was fairly severe. So I had a spinal fusion when I was 12. So within that time, I was told I was going to have major surgery at some point in my life, probably while I was still young. I might end up with breathing issues. organ issues, you know, you can be paralyzed in this surgery. All of this stuff that was being said around me, about me, never really to me, you know, oh, it's going to be a big operation, it's going to be this and that. So I think that I struggled with just a complete out of body panic state from that age, where I thought at any moment I might die, was my mentality. Like, and I only reason I know this is because of RTT. The only reason I can track it back that clearly is because of RTT. I know why I struggled with claustrophobia and panic attacks, because I was told I wouldn't be able to breathe. So anytime I felt like I couldn't breathe when I was in a confined space, I thought I was going to die, because it meant I couldn't breathe, whatever else. But I didn't ever really relate. Like you said, is there a way that you try to manage it? Or, you know, what was a turning point for you or whatever? And I never tried to manage my anxiety because I wasn't aware that it was there.
Yeah.
So when it became really clear that I wasn't well mentally, and I did have really bad anxiety, was when I became a single mum and I had to go back to work in London for Lloyds Bank. And it was such a high pressure environment. And I was really struggling with the balance between being a mum to a baby and working and earning. And I constantly had this feeling that I needed to do more, that I had to show them that I was good enough so that I wouldn't lose my job. And I used to get home, pick her up from nursery, put her to bed, then log on, work until 11 o'clock. I'd be up in the night with her. Then I'd get up, take her to nursery, go to work. And I just constantly felt this really high level. Honestly, Elise, I was like this. I was just a mess inside. But to everybody at work, I was like, morning.
Yes, happy face painted on. Yes.
We good? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Baby's fine. She's lovely. Happy to be here. It was such a lie and it was such a mask. But I thought, if they know what I'm going through at home and they realise that I've split up with her narcissistic dad and he's being very difficult and phoning me while I'm at work and threatening that he's going to lock me out and things like that, whilst raising a 9-month-old baby and doing this job that feels completely out of my depth because I'm still very hormonal and I don't know what I'm doing here. I just was, the stress was unbelievable. When I think back to her, I feel so sorry for her. Like I would just can't even relate to it anymore, where the level was so high. And it got to a point where I ended up having a stroke. So your mind gives you what you want. And I wanted it to end.
Yeah.
I wanted a way out of this hellish ordeal. And I didn't know how to escape from it. I felt like I was completely trapped. And the thing is, it's a difficult situation. No matter what way you look at that, it's a challenging situation to be in. But the reason that I was struggling so much is because I did not believe that I could do it. I didn't believe that I thought everyone was going to see through me. I was going to get caught out. I was going to lose my job. I was going to lose everything. I was failing at being a mum. I was failing at being failing at work. I was failing at being a friend. Like in all areas, that's how I felt. I wasn't enough. I didn't think I was enough by any stretch. And my brain just went, oh no, let's just take her out of the game completely. And when you were talking about slurring your words and things like that, I really resonate with that because my brain just completely stopped working. I had no memory. I'd start sentences. So you might notice as we talk that occasionally I'll pause because word retrieval is still an issue for me. So I'm looking for a word and I can't find it. So I'll replace it with one that I'm not happy with. And then I think about that for a minute. And I'm like, that's not the word I wanted. I wanted a different word, but I don't have it. So I'm going to carry on anyway and plow through. But often I would literally just forget a word and not be able to say a sentence. And that was all the cognitive issue from the stroke.
Yeah.
But
So when did you first come across RTT and Marissa's work, Nikki?
So I think it was probably about a year or so after the stroke that we went into lockdown. And funnily enough, it wasn't the stroke that stopped me from carrying on like that. Like, you know, it isn't something like that that's going to stop you because the pattern's still there.
Yeah, exactly.
I was out of hospital, went in hospital for 5 days. I was out on the Friday, back at work on the Monday with my blood thinning injections in my stomach and not a brain cell in my head. Like I should not have been there. And I did because my pattern said, you're not enough, so you need to do more. You've got to keep going. And it was about a year later that we went into lockdown when I fully had a breakdown. I was just crying all the time. I couldn't cope with even receiving an email at work. It was just too stressful for me. And we went into lockdown and my work got reduced right down to a couple of days. And my daughter was about to start school. She was going to reception in September. And so from the March, I was like, right, I've got her at home. We're just going to disconnect and I'm going to sit and I'm going to relax and I'm going to think about how I'm going to heal because this is not okay. This is bad. I was in such a miserable state. I wasn't the best mum. I was really tired all the time. And I started to look for different Googling things, YouTubing things. How do I feel better? Help me feel better. I'm broken. You know, like I didn't know where to start or what to do.
Yeah.
And I came across Marissa, and it was like somebody coming out of the screen to give me a hug and tell me that everything was going to be okay. That's such a warm maternal presence, but such genuine love and care. And everything she said made sense to me. And from her videos, I was able to connect the dots for myself when she says, like, it's coming from a place of not being enough and not being adequate. And at first, I couldn't connect it. I was like, no, just needed to get it done. Just needed to get it done. And I was like, no, it's well, what's driving that though? I had to learn how the mind works. I just became such a student of it all. Like I was so like fascinated doesn't even cover it. I watched there's 100 hours of footage of Marissa doing RTT on people in the library when you do the course. Ask me about 1 second of that I haven't seen at least twice. I've studied. I was obsessed with it because I'm like, there's answers in here that are helpful. This is changing how I feel. This is helping me. Nothing helps. Go for a walk, go for a run. All I'm doing is, oh, I'm running and I need to run more and I'm not doing enough. And it's just, none of it was helpful. But this was helpful. And it was probably maybe 5 years ago that I came across her and I was like, what is RTT? Started looking into that. At this point, I was like, I need to change. Something massive needs to change for me because I can't keep doing this corporate job. I can't have a summer holidays when she starts school where I am in London and she is with my sister. She already used to say to me, Auntie Claire is my mummy. Mummy's not my mummy because I never saw her. And it was heartbreaking.
Yeah, mum guilt. There's nothing like the mum guilt, is there? Because it's just the worst. It's like the absolute worst. So, anyway, so are you well now? Tell us how you are now and how life is for you.
Well, people find it really difficult when they get to know me now. They find it really difficult to believe what I used to be like.
Yeah.
It takes someone like my mum or my sister to like say, no, you don't understand. Like this was a broken human being. Like you couldn't say anything to her without falling apart or screaming or shutting down. Like I was beyond, I felt like I was beyond help. If I'm being honest, I actually went to a counsellor and I told him what was going on in my life and how I felt. And he cried and said, I can't do anything to help you. This is your life, and gave me my money back.
Wow.
And I thought I was a lost cause. I'm literally like, I'm such a happy, joyful, calm person now that you can't marry the two. I haven't left her behind. I'm not naive. That this is what I've learned from being a student of personal development. We don't leave those parts of us behind.
Yeah.
She is with me. I love on her, you know, and if there's anybody watching who feels like I can't do, say, the course, for example, because I sometimes get anxious or I feel this way or whatever, she came with me the whole way through. I didn't leave her at the door. She was there. I was that person when I started the course. I was very anxious. I'm a full-blown #1 people pleaser. I would please the hardest. That's how you get into narcissistic relationships.
Absolutely.
You know, they love to be pleased. And that's a great goal for me, this impossible person that I shall fix and prove my worth. And somebody asked a question earlier about how do you not take on responsibility for the healing of your clients? And I'm like, what a great question. Because when I first started the course, being completely imperfect, inexperienced, never done anything like this before in my life, worked in banking and finance, I thought that it was my responsibility because I had the people pleasing badge.
Yeah.
And it would break my heart if someone came to me and didn't give me 10 out of 10 all round. It would hurt my feelings. I'd think I needed to do another session. I need to do more. It still lived in my mind. I was aware of her, but I also had learned the tools to be able to talk to myself and be my own cheerleader, even though she was only quiet at the time. And I would go, listen, your best is enough. This is the level of growth that they are ready for at this part of their journey. You have done a good job. Well done, you. And it was enough to keep me going because often I would want to quit when things like that happened and it wasn't a rave review. And people would say to me, oh, yeah, it was really good. It's helped me with this and this. Maybe not this so much, but this was really amazing. I'm bearing in mind I'm a new therapist and they're giving me good, good feedback. I wanted perfect, excellent feedback. And over time, like now, how I feel now, all of that pressure is lifted and I go in and I say, this session is going to take us exactly where it's meant to. Both of our intentions are to reach the maximum amount of healing, balance, harmony, and let's just go in there and see what unfolds. And I trust that it is perfect for that person at that part of their journey. And I really do. I'm like, well, that's done and that's now complete. And I'm happy with it.
Amazing. And tell us a little bit more about life as a therapist now. So you've talked about what life was like then, the massive mum guilt, the being in a soul-destroying corporate job that you didn't want to be in, the guilt of like leaving your child behind and not having that time with her. So what is life like now for you in terms of life as a therapist now?
I will never, ever be more grateful. I don't think I ever will be more grateful, and I could cry. Single mum, one baby. And I know a lot of mums will just be like, yeah, probably crying their eyes out right now because we just know how it feels to want to be there for your child. And I was like, don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. And I've done it for the last 5 years. So she is going into year 6 this year. Some holidays, I pick her up from school. I pick her up from school 3 days a week. One day she goes to Auntie Claire's, the other day she goes dancing. But I could pick her up, I drop her in, and I have not, other than the one time the stroke brain made me forget a sharing assembly and I was late, I have not missed a single thing at the school because you've got the flexibility of your calendar. So you can just, as long as you manage it and you schedule it, you can do what you want. You can change your hours. I went to Thailand for 2 weeks last minute, a manifestation I might add, because I'm big on that. And I use my RTT scripts and my audios. Every single night, a new audio is going in my ears, and I will manifest all sorts of different things. But I manifested this trip to Thailand for 2 weeks, and all my clients came with me. They've come with me to Greece. I'm on a balcony.
Love it. Yeah. Been there. Love that. Yeah.
But honestly, like, and also my daughter's really proud of me. Like, it's so cute. I never thought that I didn't see that as being something that would be a benefit. But she says, like, she'll say, I tell people you help people. And
Oh,
then they have the careers fair at school. Mummy, will you do the careers fair and talk about how you help the ladies? She's come to workshops that I've done before and she's been there. I've done the Kent Wellness Festival where I've had a stand, I've done a talk, something I never thought I'd do. And I got up in front of people and they told me there weren't going to be many people then. Then there was 50 people. Then off the back of that, they loved the talk so much because I only talked about RTT. They
mm,
loved it so much that someone paid me to come and talk to 300 people. Again,
amazing.
never thought that was going to be something that I would do. I stood up in front of 300 people and talked about RTT, talked about what I'd learned. And yeah, so it's changed a lot. And I'm so grateful because I will not get those years back and the balance it's given me, it has been, I value family and I value my daughter. She's my number one. And that's what it's allowed me to have the time with her.
No, it's amazing. And I think as well, for me personally, I think it's made me a better parent learning RTT as well. So my son had
100%.
had really, really struggled in primary school with OCD. And so much so that the school called me in and said, look, we're noticing this. He's taking water bottles out of his tray and he's having to put them back in, then take it out. He's doing the same with his coat on his peg. And he did do that to a certain extent at home, but nowhere near as much as he was doing it at school. And I remember, coming away and being like, oh my God, I feel terrible. I'm like a therapist. What am I doing? And I sat down with him one day and I just said to him, tell me what's happening when you're doing this thing with the tray and putting the water bottle in. And he said, well, sometimes, mummy, it's like my brain is telling me to do something. And it says, if I want to stay safe, this is what I have to do. So I have to listen to it. And I said, but you do know that you can tell your brain what to do, not the other way around, don't you? And he said, what? Like an Alexa? And I said, exactly like that. She's probably going to set herself off now because I've said her name. And I went, exactly like that. He said, so you mean that I can tell my brain, like, Alexa, stop putting the bottle on the tray in the tray all the time, and it will do it? And I said, yes. And he went to school the next day and he practiced this and he came home. He said, yeah, it's not bothering me now because I'm in control of my brain. And he
Oh,
came up with that analogy, not even me. This brilliant 5-year-old child was like, oh yeah, like an Alexa. Yeah, so my brain's an Alexa. I tell it what to do, not the other way around. And
oh
it
my, I love
completely,
that.
yeah, it completely transformed. And the school were like, what have you done? Because they were going to send him to all sorts of therapy. And I was like, no, let me speak to him first and just, he's my child. And it was just amazing. So yeah, so I still use that now. And whenever I see people, I'm always like your Alexa brain. And I use that a lot. But it is
Oh,
because I
that's
do feel like it
genius.
helps, doesn't it? It does help you as a parent for all these things that come with being a mum.
Oh, do you know what? I went into her classroom the other day because they were doing like this little sale and they were selling coasters. And I went in and on her coaster that she'd made to sell, it said, "You are enough." I
Oh, I
promise you, I
love
did
that.
not tell her to put that, but that's something that we say a lot. And
Amazing.
actually, I posted something on Instagram and it got like not a lot of my stuff goes very viral, but this went really viral. And it was about I did an RTT session on my daughter and broke my own heart. And
Mm,
she'd been struggling with separation anxiety with me. And then I just did a very light, when I asked her permission, she knows what I do. I said, can we have a little look? Because this is
yeah.
upsetting you. And it was all to do with, she went, oh, I'm about one and mummy's going and I don't know if she's ever coming back. She burst into tears, threw herself at me and clung onto me and cried.
Mm,
And I was like, oh, that's never going to happen again.
mm,
It's never going to happen again. And since then she's got a lot better. But having the tools, even for myself,
yeah.
I won't. I mean, I don't know if you've got any other questions. I could talk all day about how I've used this personally for myself. It's
Mhm.
absolutely like a game changer.
Yeah, and that's it because as well, a lot of people were like, oh, well, I've still got issues, I'm still not fixed. But we're all a work in progress, aren't we? I mean, I
I
use
what a
RTT.
session 2 months ago.
Yeah, no, I do it all the time when there's something new, like I mentioned to Marissa about like perimenopausal driving anxiety all of a sudden. Okay, I know RTT can help me with this. So whenever there's anything, I'm always like, I know what to do because I've got the tools to do it. But a lot of the people here today will be saying, I'm really drawn to helping people. I really want to help people. I'm hearing Nikki's story, I'm hearing Elise's story, I'm hearing what Marissa is saying, but there's still that part of me that I know is struggling with anxiety, and I don't know whether I'm capable of this, or am I capable of this? I don't know. So what advice would you give to people here today who are going, I want to do this, but I just don't know whether I can. I don't know whether I'm brave enough. I don't know whether the anxiety is going to take over and stop me again from doing something that I want to do. What advice would you give?
Well, there's two things that I think would be really helpful. One would be to get an RTT session on the anxiety, like the blocker. And actually, I've worked with quite a lot of therapists that are either partway through the journey and have reached a blocking point and they want to continue or carry on, but they're sabotaging, or people that have qualified and are like, now I don't know how to move forward. I've got fear of judgment, fear of visibility. And they'll have a session. I had a client who was like, I really want to market and put stuff on social media.
Yeah.
And I wasn't expecting it to be such a blocker, but I just cannot post anything. I'm so scared. And we had an RTT session and she's got live video. I love it because that's almost like an evidence thing where you're like, see, look at you go. You know, you've proved it to yourself that it can really change the game. So that would be one way. But the other, confidence comes from taking action. Like, it's not, you get the confidence and then you throw yourself out, or like you can't prepare for a parachute jump. You can't sit in the plane and do it. You've got to throw yourself out and just be like, right, I'm here now. And then that's when you're going to find out how amazing you are. And that's when you're going to build. I guarantee every single person that I spoke to during my training was a nervous wreck. Like, for one reason or another, we would all talk in the rooms and go, oh my God, I had to apologize once in one of the virtual classrooms because I'd done such a shocking job, I felt, of what was set. I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I'm sorry, that's just really bad. And they were like, so supportive, really cheered me on, built me up, told me all the things I'd done right and I couldn't see it. I felt like it was just absolute rubbish. And I was like, right, I'll just come back in and try again the next time. I never thought I'd be able to put someone into hypnosis. I never thought I'd stumble over the words. Please just know that no fully trained and equipped RTT therapist is coming in to be in the rooms with you guys. You're all in the same boat. You're all at the same level, and I've made lifelong friends in that course. Really, really, and they're all such good people. I've never met an RTT person I didn't like. They're so warm, so lovely. So give it, like, just push yourself to do it anyway. Go for it anyway. Push through the anxiety, because I promise you, everyone's feeling the same thing. And everyone will go through those phases, and there's so much information, and learning from Marissa, learning the tools, the rules of the mind, every step helps you to understand yourself better so that you can then manage your own anxiety and you can like progress.
Yeah, so book that call, QR codes here. I think there's also a link in the chat as well. Book the call. Come and join me, Nikki, Marissa. Join our lovely RTT crew, because we are such a friendly but such a lovely, supportive like family as well. It does feel like a family. And like Nikki says, everybody's in the same boat. So don't have that worry of, oh, will I be able to do this? Because everyone, whether you've got anxiety or not, is thinking exactly the same thing. So yes, come and join on board. Hit the QR code now. Scan that QR code, book your call, speak to our amazing team. They will answer every single question that you have. Please, yes, because we need more therapists as well, Nikki, don't we? Because the demand out there for people, I mean, we're in a global mental health crisis currently, and there is a massive shortage of therapists. And I see a lot of the clients I see to me have been in like talk therapy for like 5 or 6 years and are still massively in pain. And they come to me, they work with me on a 16-week program or a 6-month program, wherever it might be, for whatever issue they've got. And they walk away going, oh my God, I spent like 5 years in talk therapy, and in the space of like 6 months, I'm ready to fly. So you can be part of this as well. Be part of Marissa's mission to train more RTT therapists. Jump on board. One last question for you, Nikki, and I want to just thank you again for staying behind, because I'm mindful that I've kept you here for much longer than I was going to keep you for
No
anyway. But
problem.
I just wanted you to share your absolutely amazing story. So thank you for being raw and real and just sharing that. But one final question. How does it feel knowing that something which once caused you so much pain in terms of anxiety, in terms of the stroke, of all the health struggles that you have, has now actually become part of the reason that you're able to help other people transform their lives? Because I mentioned this earlier, that your struggles are actually your superpower as a therapist. So how does that feel to know that you're transforming lives every single day?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing when people come to you and tell you the impact that the session has had. I can't even explain to you what the variety of different ways that RTT can help answer lifelong questions. I had a 65-year-old woman recently who lived in a house where I could barely see out of her windows because she was a hoarder, had so much stuff. And I used to think to myself, I always trust your intuition, by the way. Like my intuition, I trust it really well now. It's so good, but it's always good. It's just believe in yourself. So I'll get these words coming into my head and I'll be like, barricade. She's barricading herself in. And we did a session because she always had a question around her parents and her upbringing. She was like, I don't feel good about me. I don't feel good about myself. I feel worthless. And she was so down and so dark in this hole. And we went right back to a childhood she couldn't remember, right back to when she was 18 months old. I won't tell you what happened, but something bad happened. And she had no recollection of it whatsoever. But realizing, knowing, understanding that gave her so much freedom that now this is only within the last month, she was like, Nikki, I've joined a gym. She's joined a gym. She's gone out. She's joined a gym. She's on the treadmill. She went, I've been talking to people. This woman was like, no to people, hate everyone. Yeah. She didn't trust anyone. The fact she was even on the call with me, I couldn't get over. But she said, I looked through and I thought, oh, I like you. And sometimes that's just the way. I don't know why, but she was obviously meant to come to me. But she's also planning a trip to go traveling. She's amazing. The amount of movement in her life. And she went, I just want to enjoy the rest of my life. And I don't know how I'm going to get there. And all her life, she'd felt that way. And she was like, it's like a weight's been lifted. And for me, I'm nearly in tears listening and seeing that positive outcome, purely because the therapy does what it's supposed to do. It does what it says on the tin. You follow the map. You follow the roadmap. You do what Marissa teaches you, and you get these kind of outcomes. Yeah. It's not even hard. I'm not being funny. Like, it's not difficult. You learn it, you do it. Exactly. And you get this outcome. And that's why I do think that so many people doubt in yourself. There really is no need. You learn everything you need to know. Then you do it and you're helping people. So I think it's a beautiful therapy. And I have 100% faith in it.
Amazing. And Nikki, you're a little bit of an Instagram starlet, aren't you? What's your handle on Instagram so people can look you up?
I'm just Nikki Rettigan.
So look Nikki up. She's also featured on our Inner Belief Instagram as well. So go and check out her videos, because she does some brilliant videos, and some are like really hilarious. The daughter's in them, the dog's in them, and they're just absolutely fantastic. So yeah, go and check Nikki out. But Nikki, oh, there's a little pup there. So thank you, Nikki. Thank you so much for joining us today. Your story is just truly inspirational. You are amazing at what you do, and I am so privileged to work alongside you and to have you as part of my RTT family. So thank you so much for joining us today. I think we're going to have you back though, because I've still got loads of questions for you. So
before you go, Nikki, before you go, I want to say that I'm so proud of you. You're amazing. I love your story. I love the story. I'm so proud of what you've done for your daughter. And I love people like you who've come from nowhere with no background. And look at what you did for that woman with the hoarding, and your intuition that said she was barricading herself in because of her pain. So I wanted to share that. I'm really, really proud of you, darling. I'm so glad you're one of us. And you're a
Oh, that's
great
so
example, both of you. Well, no, it's not kind.
thank you.
It's not kind at all. It's true. You're out there doing something that matters. I love the fact that you're speaking on Careers Day. I love that on Careers Day you're going to be, and your daughter's proud of you. That's just the best thing, to have a kid that says, my mummy goes to work and helps. My mummy does something that matters. My mummy makes a difference. I mean, you should be really proud of yourself for that. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
So I'm
Honestly,
deeply, deeply proud of you. I think it's
that
wonderful
means
what
the
you've done.
world to me.
I think you're an inspiration to so many women who go, well, look at Nikki, having a stroke, having an abusive partner, being a single mother, and look how far you've come. I love self-made people the best because they show you, wow, if you can do it, anyone can do it. So you're an inspiration. Of course, the least two, you're both inspirations. Inspirational women. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you so much,
What's
Marissa.
your daughter called, by the way?
Her name's Paige.
Paige, I love that name. Well, there you go. And I just wanted to drop in. I don't want to take your thunder. Just say I'm proud of you so much, and I hope I meet you very soon. Lots of love.
Thank you so
God,
much, Marissa,
so
and
so
thank you,
happy.
Nikki.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah,
You're
Marissa was
welcome.
listening in
Thank
the
you.
background or to your amazing
I
story.
was reading all these hundreds and hundreds. I read every single comment. I always read them all.
And
So
of course,
interesting. And I've just finished reading them all, but I've been listening to you. I was listening to Nikki's story about her daughter, and when she said her sister was the auntie, and how nice it is you pick her up from school, and when she said her auntie was the mother, rather. Yeah, I love the fact that you've turned your life around. You've done it all yourself.
Well, with your
thank you so
help,
much.
to be honest.
Well, yeah, but that's the best thing, for someone to pass on what I do is the best thing ever. So you've done it. And I love the way you talked about rules of the mind as well.
And our stories aren't unusual. Nikki's story is not unusual.
Not
My
at
story
all.
is not unusual. We've got tens of thousands of graduates who've got very similar stories, who maybe were having their own personal struggles, have transformed their lives with RTT, and are now transforming the lives of others. So I'm going to wrap up because I'm mindful that we've been here a long time
A long
today. Thank
time.
you so much. And in the heat. So thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Nikki. Go and get nice and cool now, drink some iced water. But mentioning just then that we're not unusual in our story, we're actually going to stick around because we're actually going to run a little video, which is some stories and tales from our graduates as well, from some of our other graduates, and some video footage from some of the live events so that you can get a feel for what to expect from the training as well. So stick around to watch that. Book your call, scan the QR code now, book that call. Don't be afraid. Don't be a dummy like me and leave it 18 months and then go, oh no, and then do it and go, why didn't I do this 2 years ago? Go and do it. Because imagine now, this time next year, you're in our big RTT family with me, Nikki, Marissa, and you're being the phenomenal therapist that you were born to be. So we need more therapists. Jump on board, join our mission, change the world. Girl power as well, so jump on board. Book that call. Thank you so much to everybody today for sticking around. I know loads of you have stayed right till the end as well. So thank you, because that's been a mammoth 2.5 hour session. And I'm so appreciative of you all. Thank you so much. See you all next time. But yes, stick around because we're going to run a video now. I think Matt's going to run that for you. But thank you. Thank you so much, Marissa. Thank you so much, Nikki. Thank you so much, everybody. And see you next time.
And Paige, don't forget to, Nikki, tell Paige I'm really proud of her mummy.
Oh, I will do. Thank you, Marissa.
That I'm super proud of you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
RTT has completely shifted the trajectory of my life. It was the best decision I ever made. I'm so grateful I did it because within that year, I tripled the amount of money I paid in the school.
With RTT, I'm my own boss, can choose my own hours. I can do it to actually suit my own schedule. Yeah, I think just having control basically over your life is amazing.
It gave me freedom. I knew I was never cut out for the corporate world. I was able to have a better work and personal life balance. There's always people that need help everywhere you turn. And just by speaking about it, meeting people, you have business, you have clients coming. Yes, you are making a good living, but you are also transforming lives. You have a purpose, meaning, and helping people.
I was probably one of the biggest skeptics when I first started looking at this work. I thought it can't possibly work as well as it does. It really is very rewarding.
My first 3K client.
I signed up my first UK-based client.
Of the 9 discovery calls, I had 7 paid customers.
Oh my God!
Before I became an RTT therapist, I had 27 years in corporate IT. If you'd have told me I would have ended up being a therapist, I would have laughed in your face because it just wasn't on my radar. Suffered a little bit from imposter syndrome, starting something completely new. And then my business for the next kind of 3 years was literally on referrals, and I built a full-time income fairly quickly from it too.
Rapid transformational therapy has given me a tool that really opens up the doorways to being able to do absolutely anything I could ever want to do, to engage with interesting people, to have a massive impact on people's lives.
Each day I wake up and I'll do a little work in the office, then have lunch, take the dogs to a park, come back home, then maybe do an RTT session or a coaching session. It's a really beautiful flow for my life.
With all the tools that I learned, I fell in love with the results that I was already seeing with my companions, with the people that I was practicing. Then I was running a very successful business as an RTT therapist. I have phenomenal results with my clients. It's a job that brings you a lot of satisfaction personally, because you can truly help people.
I graduated in May of 2023, and that was my first 6-figure year. I didn't ever know, honestly, if I was going to get there. It was great, right, that to reach that milestone, but it was also about the way that I was doing it and the results that I was helping my clients achieve through RTT.
It gives me the financial freedom to do what I want to do because it's such a compelling, wonderful technique that people, once they've had a session, will come back for more, or they'll refer other people to me.
RTT, I would say, is the opportunity for somebody to take back the power that they were born with. We've all got a bright, shiny diamond inside, and sometimes life, parents, schools, that fades a little bit. So RTT is the opportunity to really help somebody to polish up and allow their diamond to shine brightly again.
RTT is life-changing. It gives you all the tools that you need to help others and to see transformations.
I am so grateful to Marissa and all of the RTT trainers and everybody who works at the school, because it has been a really enriching experience for me and continues to be, because I learn something new from every client.
I absolutely love being able to empower my clients using RTT.
I'm here at RTT Live, training another generation of people who are going to go out and change the world. This is the most amazing therapy, but don't take my word for it. We're going to ask them, was it worth it?
This experience was life-changing for all of us. When I opened my eyes in the first session, I woke up like a new person. So glad that we learned the skills to do that for a lot of people that we can help.
I completely feel that I'm a transformed man. I called my manager this week and I told her no for the first time, and I said no twice. There's a lot of people and a lot of kids who need this.
I was telling John that I'm not the same person anymore. And he said, wait for the week to end. You would have upgraded yourself. I didn't think it was possible, but I'm completely changed since Monday to now. That is the RTT family. Like, every single person is invested in you and wants to see you successful. So I am just so proud and grateful to be here. Thanks, Marissa.
A lot of us here are seekers, right? We've sort of lived our entire lives, certainly all our adult lives, seeking out answers. And we know that there's something more, but we can't quite put our finger on it. I've done Reiki and I've done this therapy and I've done that therapy and I've been working on myself. And then you come here and miracles just come standard.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
When I first somehow came across your I'm Enough program, my life never been the same. And standing here today, it proves it. I love you and thank you with all my heart.
I've done a lot of programs. I'm a trainer myself. My heart and my soul was so fulfilled. How we are also connected together, it just blows my mind. Thank you so much.
I felt very lost until one day I still remember that YouTube ads. What would your life look like if you are a rapid transformational therapist? So I signed up and it literally changed my life. Thank you so much, Marissa.
I've been feeling for so long time that I don't belong. I mean, the first day I belong.
You belong.
Wow.
What you're teaching us is not only changing our lives, we are changing the generation that might come after.
We're changing the world.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you don't gatekeep this gift, because life in the world's going to be better because of you.
And you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
The moment we change ourselves, that's a first step. I'm not going to take it to the world. I'm just taking it to the next person next to me.
It transformed me as a person and as a therapist, and it's just unforgettable.
The person who walked through these doors on Monday and the person who's talking to you now, there's a complete flip.
We are enough, I am enough, you are enough. You can transform everything with only yourself and with your mind.
This is pretty much the most rapid way of changing yourself that you could possibly come up with. Whatever you want to change, I've got the solution. Whatever problem you have, I've got the solution. Whatever you want to upgrade, I've got the solution. I mean, it sounds arrogant, but this is really the technique that works.
You can achieve whatever you set your mind to, but you doubt your abilities. And when that doubt is taken away, sky is the limit. So for me, truly, this week has been life-changing, and I'm just ready to fly. RTT is most definitely transformational.
I have never felt something like this in my entire life. You are enough, you can do it, and you can change your life.
My daughter asked me to work with her. And I said, of course, you do know I'm going to be the big source of all the problems. I know it too.
For anyone that's debating whether to do it, just take that investment. You're not going to regret it. You can literally do this for the rest of your life and it will pay itself back. So honestly, just do it. Absolutely.
There's no money in the world that is going to give you the tools, the techniques, and the feeling and the experience of this. So throw yourself there and you will be so happy.
If you want a great career, you want a career that gives you 9 things: meaning, purpose, growth, contribution, making a difference, diversity, certainty, significance, and connection. There's not many jobs that give you all those 9, but this does.